Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. I hope you are having a brilliant Wednesday. Happy hump day to all of you. It is a Wednesday and over the next couple of hours we have got an amazing craft along for you. Jamie is in the building from Creative Expression to be back at 4 p.m. UK time, so it's 11 a.m. East Coast time, but you've got a very special treat before then because Leann is back with us in the studio. How are you, Leann? It feels like it's been forever.
Oh, Joe, it's been far too long, hasn't it? I'm really excited actually, and you know how much I love our aqua markers. So when I heard a whisper that aqua markers were going to be in a craft along, I said, that has to be mine. So here I am, and I can't wait. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Well, it looks tremendous what we're making.
We're going to be looking at all of the aqua marker techniques into one card, Joe.
Nice.
So making this fab Z fold. We know how much you absolutely love a Z fold. But we're going to be doing a salt background.
Nice.
We're going to be doing some splashing and some resist. We're going to be doing some self-stamping. And we're going to be doing some just regular stamping and colouring. So 4 different techniques in this one card using 5 aqua markers, which I think is really great. I think it's pretty, isn't it?
It is.
Makes a statement.
So many of you already have these aqua markers, and I know loads of you are really excited to join in as well with this craft along, which is brilliant, and that's what craft along is all about. It's all learning and creating something fabulous together in real time. Now, if you want to join in with Leann's craft along, you've still got time. So you've got time to go and gather all of your bits and bobs. Let's share with you all of those bits and bobs and what you will need for this craft along. So you've got your Spectrum Noir Tricolour Aqua. So we've got teal, aquamarine, purple, heather, rose, red, and the orchid. Your Crystal Clear Sparkle pen. We've got some stamps there, as you can see. You've got your layered edge Deco Square dies, Mr. Spray, art liner, ink pads, your different cardstock as well, so watercolour, matte black, and multi-purpose. You will also need scissors, guillotine, your die cutting machine of choice, heat gun, glass mat, scoring board, and then of course all of your different adhesives that are there for you. And of course you will need some other bits and bobs, which is your 12x12 cardstock, some heavyweight acetate, a platform, stamping mat, paintbrushes, kitchen rolls, sea salt, and foam tape. They are all the things you need. I know lots of you have already got them gathered and are ready to go, but you've still got time to gather those all along before we get crafting. A lot of you tuning in and saying hi already. Sarah Brown, what happened there?
You went all
I don't know what it is today. I'm a little bit, Leann.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. You're right.
No, I've just dropped a couple of things, Joe.
Oh, okay.
I'll be fine.
And that's hilarious because I was just saying I'm a little bit vacant-minded today is what I was saying.
Are you?
Bits off there. I don't know why. I've got a brain like a sieve. Nothing's going in today for some reason. Sarah Brown, sorry Sarah, says, hello again all my crafty friends. I'm watching from bed. I'm now heading into Thursday morning. It's midnight here in Melbourne, Australia. Sending hugs your way. Sending hugs right back at you, Sarah. Michelle saying good morning. Patricia's in Hampshire. Beth in upstate New York. What on earth was that? You've got your samurai sword.
I might have just dropped a metal shim.
Okay.
I'm looking for my
Do you know what
Gemini.
it sounded like you were letting a fire extinguisher off.
Do you know, I'm just looking for my Gemini Junior plates and the other craft guests.
John's here.
They're so untidy. Here's John, my saviour. The other craft guests are so untidy. Putting things back in there, they all fell out, John. It's just a little metal shim down here. Thanks, John.
Have you found everything else you were looking for?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, excellent. Right. Bev says, good morning from upstate New York. Astrid is in as well. Kirsty D saying hi. All her angel collection just arrived. That sounds glorious. Who else we got? Marisol says, I'm catching up a little bit of the craft along before work. I will catch up a little bit later. I've got all supplies at the ready. Robin is saying hi from a dreary South Jersey. And Susan says, hi there, Joe, and hello to Leann and the CC team from South East UK. Looking forward to learning more using my Spectrum Noir products. Caitlin's our social media superstar. She says, OMG, RIP to anyone that's listening to this show on headphones. Absolutely. Right, if you don't yet own the products that Leann is going to be using in this craft, well, don't worry, because we've got you covered there. We've got a fantastic bundle for you of aqua products. So what you've got in here is you've got a tricolour aquas. You've got 3 sets of those. So in there You're going to get the essential neutrals, the floral meadow, and the colour basics. And then what we've got for you are our OG original aquas. So you're going to get 48 of our original aquas in there as well, across 4 different collections. And you're going to get the watercolour cardstock, and you're going to get these clear overlay absolutely free of charge as well. It is a real mega bundle. Very rare to see a discount like that as well on our Spectrum Noir markers. $48.91 you save in the UK, $69.63 is your saving if you are in the US. Head on over to the website, hit the shop the show button, because there are so many deals over there for you. Don't forget there's that 2 for $20 running over on the website as well, so you can check that out whilst you're over there. This craft along will work as all craft alongs do. So Leann will take lots of regular breaks for you, give you a chance to get caught up if you do get dropped behind a bit as well. She'll recap for us the steps. But if there is anything you miss and you want recapping, I am here to take care of that for you. So Crafters TV on Facebook is where you'll find me. Crafters Companion over on YouTube. Is there anything you miss? Drop into the comments and let me know. But Leann, looking at the comments, I think everyone is pretty much tickety-boo, spit, spot and ready to go.
Well, you sounded like Mary Poppins there. You're definitely channeling your Step Lively, Step in Time.
I am Sarah Brand.
Yes, it was Sarah Brand. You're definitely
knees up,
on the
Sarah
rooftops.
Brown. Knees up, Sarah Brown. Knees up, get your knees up, Sarah Brown. Sorry.
Wow, we just need to get you 2 spoons. Let's get your 2 dessert spoons, and maybe you can do the spoons as well while you're on. Right, so we're going to start with the most technical part of this craft along, and the bit that you need to do first before you do anything else, which might seem a little bit back to front because it's the salt backgrounds.
Right.
So it's this stuff here. Before you do anything else, we're going to do those because they need some time to dry and for the salt to activate with the ink. So we're going to do these backgrounds first, and then we're going to do the other decorative bits while they're drying. You can force the drying with a heat gun. So if you've got a heat gun handy, grab it, and we might use that if it hasn't quite dried enough, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to take my piece of watercolour card, and I'm going to cut myself 3 panels. The first panel I'm going to cut is 6 1/4 inches. So I'm just lining up my piece of watercolour card with the 6 1/4 inches on my guillotine. Make sure that's nice and straight. And then that needs to be 4 1/4. So we've got my first card panel is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. Panel number 1. Panel number 2 is going to be 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. So the bit that fell off can be used now because it's already the right length because I cut it to 6 1/4.
Perfect.
So now I can do this at 1 3/4, which is there. And I use the lines on my guillotine here, the grid, Joe, to make sure when you're getting to the edge here and you haven't got as much to butt up your card.
Right.
Sometimes if you're not making sure that you're following a straight line, it can be a bit donkey's back leg.
Okay.
Not because the guillotine isn't cutting properly, because you've got your card on the
on a
wonk.
wonky angle, yeah.
Yes. So just make sure when you line that up that you're butting it right up against that edge, but then just giving yourself a little visual check of following that grid all the way down to make sure you've got it nice and straight. And then that's going to be 1 3/4. And then I need a second one at 1 3/4. So you see, by cutting that first 6 1/4 length and then trimming all of my pieces from there, on this piece of watercolour card, I've been able to get all of my panels that I need. Only that little bit is wasted. And then I've got this big piece for another card on another day.
Marvellous.
Okay, so that can just go to the side to be used whenever. And these are my 3 panels that we're going to work on now. So the next thing you're going to do is make sure that you've got your salt, you've got a spritzer, and you've got your aqua markers. And the aqua markers that I would like you to take from your packs. Now, 4 of my markers are from the primary pack, and 1 is from the floral pack, I believe, yes. So my 4 from the primary are purple, teal, aquamarine and navy. And I've got heather from the floral pack. They're the markers that I'm going to use. So we're going to start by preparing our card. And to prepare the card, what you're going to do is wet the card first. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is take a broad brush and your water. So a broad brush, a background brush. Always make sure you've got some kitchen towel handy to clean up any mess as you go along or any accidents. And you're going to work on 1 panel at a time. which might feel odd. You might feel like you want to do all three at the same time, but what happens is the water starts to dry pretty quick and soak into the watercolour card. And when that happens, and you put your salt on, if it starts to dry a little bit, you don't get the massive effect of the salt background technique. So you need to work on one little bit at a time, Joe. So the first thing we're going to do is dampen the card. So this is just preparing it to receive some kind of effect. So that's already prepared. And then we're going to take the markers, and I'm going to take teal, aquamarine, purple and heather. We'll come to the navy later. And then all I'm going to do is scribble some of that onto my mat. And we need plenty of it. And I might have to put some more on. You might have a squeaky mat like mine, Joe.
Squeaky mat?
A squeaky mat.
Yeah. And we can do this with all the colours, I'm guessing,
all
and any of our water-based markers.
Any of your water-based markers, you just pick from that massive, fabulous bundle that you've got there. You're just going to pick the marker, the colour combination that you prefer.
Okey-doke.
And this, for me, I am all about the purples and turquoises, always. So it's just one of my favourite combinations. Then all you do is take your brush and your piece of card and you pick it up and splotch it on. Now you can see that that big piece of ink that I put down there hasn't actually gone very far on my piece of card. So you might need to go back and add a little bit more in, or don't be scared to really go to town and get yourself a good amount of colour on your mat. So splodge that in there, then clean my brush so it doesn't get too contaminated. Pick up the next one, splodge that in. You can always pick up a little bit more water if you think you need to. Splodge that in there.
It's mesmerising, isn't it, watching this? It really, really is. It sounds like sooty and sweeper on, says Lillian. I think she means the squeaking, not you and I. Although we've been called a lot worse.
Oh gosh, yes. For sure.
Oh, apparently you're doing a certain launch show on the 20th, which Sarah has been dropping hints on HSN, Leanne.
Have I? What am I doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to check. That's me as well, I think. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Can't talk about those yet, but yes, that's happening.
That will be a phenomenal launch.
Oh, and we've got a very special cartload that evening, you and I as well.
Have we?
Mm.
Exciting.
You've got a pretty long day that day, Leanne.
Have I?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Well, you've got 2 hours of wake-up call, you've got a 2-hour launch and then a 3-hour cartload.
Woo!
What a day.
What a day. I will be fueled on tea and donuts that day, Joe, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, so I've got, where it was a bit lighter in areas and I wanted a bit more contrast, and it is good to have some good deep colour on here when you do this technique, Joe. I've just added a little bit more ink and I've gone up and deepened it in places, and I'm all right with how that looks right now. So I'm just going to clean my brush. There we go. And then what I like to do before I put the salt on is I just like to give it a little mist with my mister. So I make sure it is wet. You need it to be nice and wet. If you can see any areas where you think it's drying, a little bit more on, then be generous with your salt. So with the rock salt now, you can see I've tipped it in my hand and I'm just trickling it on here. Don't touch the card.
And is it the big sort of chunky one works best, is it, Leanne?
Yes, it's this one.
Yeah.
You definitely want the big chunks. You don't want your regular table salt.
Mill.
No, no good grinding your salt mill on there.
No.
I mean, that gives a different effect, Joe, to be fair. So it's not that you can't do that. So if you want a more subtle effect and it looks more like a marbled background when you use a finer salt, then you can, of course. So you get plenty on there, so you've got a really nice amount for the technique. And then what I like to do, a final little spritz, and that just kind of activates the salt, picking up the ink from underneath. And then you put that to the side and let it dry. And I'm going to do the same with the next two pieces.
Amazing.
You'll just be able to see there, Joe, how the bits of salt, you can see they're darker. It's starting to suck up that ink and activate and do that technique that we love. So I'll move that to the side. And I'm going to do the other two pieces. If anybody needs time to just catch up or watch along, or you need to tell anybody anything, Joe, now's a good time.
I'm having quite a lovely time watching you. Jane wants to know if you've got new glasses, Leanne.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh my goodness, you're all very observant. Yes, I have got new glasses. Thank you very much. Well, I'm presuming, you asked me if I've got new glasses and it tells if I look nice in them.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming you approve. But yes, I do. I've gone with purple. I'm fully branded.
Oh, I love it. I love them.
Thank you.
I will just give you the details and tell you then about this set, which is the Aqua Markers on their own. So the Aqua Markers are available individually, as are the Tricolours as well. And these here are the 4 12 pen collections. So you've got the florals, which are these ones just here. So you've got some really lovely tones in there. Then you also have the essentials, which are these, some really good portrait tones in there, as well as some darker tones. Then you've got the primaries, which are a real essential, aren't they? And finally, the nature. So £65, $85 if you want to get all of those. Saving you £27 or $35 almost, which is really good value there on those. Lots of people still chatting away with us in the comments, Leann. Everyone's in a very chatty mood today. Pamela says, hello, y'all. Great to see Leann and Joe together. It's lovely to be back together. Can't remember the last time we worked together, Leann.
I can't, Joe. It's been too long, really.
It's been such a long time.
It has.
Patricia says we'll be doing this craft along later, trying to work on my Halloween cards to get them done in time. Not long until Halloween now. Do you deck the house out, Leann, and encourage the little ones round?
I don't deck the house. No, I don't. If my granddaughters were coming,
Yeah.
I would deck the house.
Yeah.
But because it's just me and Simon.
Are you sort of blinds closed, porch light off kind of couple, or are you allowing signs of life?
I allow signs of life,
Right,
and
okay.
I have a big bucket of sweets.
You do? Oh, there you go.
At the bottom of the stairs. So all of the local children are very welcome to call and to knock and, you know, have a little dip in the trick-or-treat bucket. And
Delicious.
I'm all for that, but I can't be bothered with the decoration.
Fair enough. You're a very busy lady. Melody says, good morning. Happy to see Leann and Joe. Going to try and craft along today. Lots of you are joining in, which is rather fabulous. Who else we got here? Jean says, oh, purchased the new markers that were on HSN. Very excited to receive them. Caroline says, your glasses are lovely. Sandra says, Leann, sorry, missed the start of the craft along. My sister rang. We'll take notes and do it later. Does she not know that it's Leann's craft along, your sister? Need to give her forewarning, I think.
Give her the heads up.
Shadia says, love the specs. They look very expensive. Great fit too.
Oh, thank you. I'm forgetting what make they were. Yeah, so they are a little bit posh, but they're not too posh.
I think the time has come that I need a new pair of specs, Leann. Because look at the state of these ones.
Yes, you do need a new pair, Joe. I had to get a new pair because one of my arms fell off mine. And so
I think I've had these nearly 4 years, this pair.
Oh, yes, you definitely do.
And they're the only pair I have as well.
You are ready for a new pair, Joseph. Right.
I want a pair of those big clear ones. Clear plastic ones.
Oh, I don't think I like them.
No?
I think,
Yeah.
well, I think the youth like them, Joe.
Right. Are you saying I'm not young?
Yes, well, you know, I mean, I think you used to be.
I think we all used to be.
But, you know, there comes a time in life where you've just got to accept that you're no longer young. Do you need a bifocal yet, Joe?
No, I'm all right with that. I don't need any reading glasses yet.
Do you not?
No, I don't.
Just long distance?
Yeah, just distance, yeah.
Oh, I see, mine are reading. I can see distance, no problem.
So do you have the ones where if you look out at one bit? Because now they do them with like 4 in, you know, like 4 different strengths. Could you just be like that all the time? So what did you say? Oh, hang on, let me just read this.
Yeah.
What did you say? Oh, let me just have a look at that. What's that over?
My mum does that. No, mine are just pure reading glasses.
Right.
Which is why I've always got them on the end of my nose like that. Because
Right.
I can't see. I
Far
need
away.
them to read, but I don't need them to see. So that's why I'm always like school mum.
Ah,
So I can see. Because if I put my glasses on and look at you, you're just a blurry
Maybe that's for the best now, I'm old.
thing. So I need to do that so I can see
Right.
your beautiful
Fair
face.
enough. Oh, thank you.
You're
Good save, Leann. Victoria says that squeaking noise from the pens on the glass mat makes me giggle more than it should.
It makes Johnny giggle as well.
Well, Caitlin's got the glasses we're talking about, and she is definitely youth. So there you are. I think you've proved your point, Leann.
Thank you.
Rhonda says, good morning, Joe, Leann, CTV crew, Team Social, and all my lovely crafty friends from a sunny but chilly Chicago area. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 9, I think we worked out the other day, 9 or 10 degrees Celsius.
Wow. So I'm still doing this. It'd be interesting if anybody's following along, I'd love to see your photographs of your progress. That would be great.
Does the amount of water that you put on the card or load the brush with will it make a difference to the sort of finished effect that you get, Leann?
It lets the ink move further and blend into another colour, and it just depends whether you want blocks of ink or whether you want the ink to do its thing and blend in and make some new colours for you. So I would say experiment, see which one you prefer. So you see there, I've used the blue and the kind of bright pink magenta, and I've got this purple colour because the two have mixed together on the card, made a new colour. So you can get lots of different effects. You definitely want it to be wet because the salt won't work if it's not.
Okie doke.
And you can see I'm not being particularly cautious or clever with this, Joe. I'm scooping it up off the mat and then just plonking it wherever I see fit.
Fabulous. Well, it means you can't really go wrong with it then, can you, in that case?
Absolutely not. And then wherever I've got lighter areas, I'll go around with a final colour, and that's where it fills in. And you get that contrast between the light and dark. But honestly, there is no particular format or rhyme or reason to that. It's just where the mood takes you. So I'm just cleaning my brush as we go along there. Keep that nice and clean. So remember, just a quick reminder, once you've done that, a quick spritz with some water to have it nice and wet, and then a handful of your salt, and just sprinkle it on in a random fashion, not planned in any particular order or bigger lumps here or there. It's just wherever it falls, it's okay. All I try to do is to get a nice even covering across the whole piece.
Delightful. Any questions you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube. Zoe Carver says, my dog is getting excited. I think there's a squeaky toy on TV. Can imagine. What sort of dog is it, Zoe? Do let us know. Karen says, Leann, I'm the same as you with the glasses. They're always on the end of my nose.
It's a challenge. Final spritz of water, and then move that to one side, and then we can do a little clean up, Joe. So I'm just going to clean my mat and get ready for the next little piece.
Amazing. Let's take a really quick pause then whilst people get finished off there. Sandra says, I started needing reading glasses, and like Leann, I have to peer over the top. Shopping is a nightmare. Can't walk with them on, can't read with them off. Can't walk now to the shop anyway. There we are. Do you do your supermarket shopping in person, or do you get it delivered, Leann?
Do I actually go to the supermarket, or do I get deliveries? Delivery.
It's easier, isn't it?
I will actively avoid the supermarket.
Because I thought it was hard work, but once you've done it once or twice, it kind of knows then, doesn't it? Knows what you need.
It remembers.
Sorted.
And also, I don't want to go and walk around the supermarket putting things in my trolley. Take the things off my trolley and put them on the conveyor belt. Take them off the conveyor belt and put them in bags in my trolley. Take them to the car and put them from the trolley into the car. From the car into the house, and the house into the cupboards. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
When if you do it online, they turn up at the door and they go, there you are, and you put it in the cupboards.
Easy peasy.
That's my ethos. More time for crafting.
I think it's the way forward. And then you don't need to worry about walking around your supermarket with your glasses on, glasses off then as well.
Yes, exactly.
Easy peasy. Right, let's move on. I want to share some stamps and dies with you. These are a really lovely concept. These I've got on a 60% saving for you. And this is trifold concept with the dies and stamps, which give you the detailing in there too. You can definitely use the stamps on their own, is what I'd say, if you want to. But they work so well together. You've got embellishments and you've got sentiments in each of the different collections too. So you've got the You've Been On My Mind. Oh, I've just lost my stamps, bear with. There we go. You've Been On My Mind. Then we've got this one here with the owls, which is You Have My Heart. Then my favourite one is this one, You Mean So Much, which is the one there with the elephants chasing the butterfly, which is adorable. You've then got Best Buddy, which are the Dalmatians that you've got here. And you can also mix and match these to a degree as well. You know, like the speech bubble could go with any of the other ones. For instance, the presents from the bunnies would work with any of the designs also. And that one there is the birthday bunny as you can see. 60% saving here. It saves you £36 or $46. Today price £23 or $31, which is a brilliant, brilliant price. That's going to haunt me all show, isn't it, that stamp set? There we go. Now, something you might want to use with your watercolours are these, the outline florals. These are brilliant. If you want to decoupage these up as well, fussy cut around them, they're brilliant for allowing you to do that. You've got this one here is your Divine Rose. You're getting the floral element and the sentiments again in here. The Radiant Ranunculus. I love that one. It's a little bit sort of abstract almost. Then you've got your Delicate Blossom, and finally the Proud Poppies. Proud Poppies. It's my, I don't know whose handwriting this is. I don't think it is mine. I can't read my own handwriting at the best of time. No, it's not mine. I don't know who's it. I think it might be Becky R's. £13.50 or $19. That saves you 30% on that as well. Zoe's dog is an English Springer Spaniel. I bet she's got some energy. I bet she needs some long walks, Zoe. Mary Beth says, love doing the backgrounds, getting some great ideas here as well. Marisol says, I like doing grocery pickup because then I stick to my list, no extras. It's all the extras, isn't it?
It is.
Do you know what people used to do in the supermarket and they don't do anymore? Eat stuff on the way round. People always used to eat stuff on the way round in the supermarket.
Really?
Yeah, as long as you pay for it at the end.
Yes, hand
Would you ever, like, I remember all the time you'd see people in, you know, they'd got a packet of sausage rolls, just open it and eat a couple of them whilst going around the supermarket, and then as long as you pay for it at the end, people don't do it anymore. I noticed the other day I was in the supermarket.
Oh, well, it's not something I've ever done, Joe.
I reckon Johnny would eat something in the supermarket. He doesn't like doing it. Maybe it's just me, but no one does it anymore.
It's not yours till you've got to the other side of the checkout.
No, I guess not.
No.
I mean, you're just taking an advance, aren't you? You're going to pay for it. You're going to take it home. You're going to eat it anyway. You know, it doesn't matter where you consume it. I wouldn't do it, no, but I feel like I used to see a lot of people doing it and no one does it anymore.
I'm
Just pull the end off the baguette.
No.
No? Okay, maybe not.
I think I'm definitely no on that.
All right, definitely a no there.
However, if I had a screaming toddler in a trolley and something was going to pacify them, then I'd be giving them it and paying for it at the end.
Yeah.
But just for my own selfish requirements, it would be a no. But if I was pacifying a toddler, yes.
I was just thinking of all things you could eat going around, like a tin of baked beans or something out of the can.
Tin of rice pudding.
Really go for it. You know, a leg of a roast chicken maybe. Anyway, any questions you've got? Back to you, Leann. Get those questions into me.
We are now going to make the panels with the self-stamped butterflies on. So we're going to do these a little bit here. So we're doing a panel with 2 butterflies and 2 panels with 1 butterfly. So I'm going to cut my watercolour card. Definitely best getting all of your inky bits done first and ready, and then as they dry you can assemble later. So don't try to make and assemble, because that's when you smudge things, you get it all over. So we're going to cut 1 3/4 inches again. So exactly as I did before, I'm doing a visual to make sure I've got my line nice and straight. And then I've got 4 1/4. And I'm sure we've got all these measurements for you. I've got them written down here, so if we haven't given you them, I will make sure that you can get them. Or we get them posted, Johnny's telling me, so that's good. We can post it out, that's good.
It was just like having a swig of a drink that you were going to buy.
No.
No, still not. Still no.
Okay. 1 3/4 for that.
Yeah.
And 1 3/4 for that. I don't think there's anything you can say that's going to make me say yes.
Well, Caitlin says that she will have a sip out of a drink that she's going. How about if you had a bag of grapes? Would you eat a couple of those?
No.
Okay.
However, if I had a banging headache, I would take a tablet.
Out of the packet of tablets?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's different though, isn't it?
I would do that.
Mind you, I think sausage rolls can be medicinal, so maybe it isn't that different.
Well, it depends what your ailment is, I suppose, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got our 3 pieces of card now. We've got 4 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 and 2 1 3/4 squares. I'm going to get my stamping mat and stamping platform, because I'm going to use these next. And then from the Kindness Changes Everything set, Joe, I'm using the butterfly. Got that on there.
Lou's supermarket has a fruit cart, especially for kids they can take something out of on the way round to keep them happy. That's a good idea.
That?
Lou, this is Lou's supermarket. I don't know, where is it?
That's really good. I like that.
Great idea.
Yes.
Oh, they have like mini bananas and oranges for kids apparently to go around in Tesco's as well. There you are.
I'm impressed with that. That's good. That's where I would be doing that for sure. Right, so now what we're going to do is we've got our stamp on the stamping platform, and I've got my aqua markers, the same colours as I used to do the backgrounds, and then everything ties in. What I'm doing is just keeping my marker on a 45-degree angle to the stamp, and then I'm rubbing that marker on there to add some colour.
Amazing.
Okay, and I will vary the colours. So again, this is a great technique if you're just new to starting to colour, because there's no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting the colours. I'm just taking them and deciding I fancy a little bit of that colour there and adding it to the stamp. Not planned, not predefined, just how I feel when I'm popping the ink on there. So very easy for you to replicate. So I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the heather.
When it comes to selecting colours, Leann, are there colours that do and definitely don't work together?
Yes, so if you look at the colour wheel, and you can, I mean, I'm sure we've got them on our website and places, or if you just Google colour wheel, colours opposite each other on the colour wheel don't blend together well, they will make brown.
Okay.
So for example, red and green is opposite each other on the colour wheel. If you put those together, you get a muddy brown colour.
Right.
So you really need to use colours adjacent to each other, alongside each other, okay. 2 or 3 down or around. And if you just stick on the same side of the wheel with 2 or 3 gaps, you're going to get some beautiful combinations.
Amazing.
That was a good question, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Have a virtual sticker for that, Joe.
Thank you.
Like
Thank
a
you very
star,
much.
for the star chart.
Lou is in Kentucky, the state, not the takeaway.
Oh. Oh, do you know what I've done?
What have you done?
Doesn't matter. I put it on the wrong side of the platform. I'll just do it freestyled. So I'm going to stamp that down onto my watercolour card. You stick it onto the right side of your platform rather than the wrong. And then I'm going to add some of that ink again and do it once more, and then the magic will happen. Okay, so shall I go a little bit more quickly this time? So straight onto the stamp, colouring onto it. So easy to do.
Oh, I saw something today.
What did you see?
I've seen something today.
What? What?
Something, I think it's top secret, so I can't really say.
Oh.
For anyone out there that's got mucky stamps, that's all I can say.
Oh, that's not the top secret thing I was thinking about.
That's the top secret thing I was thinking about.
If
you are a mucky crafter, you are going to love it.
It's coming soon.
It's you and I on a launch party in the next few weeks. Yeah.
It's me and you and me.
Yes, it looks fabulous.
It is. It's fantastic. It's a game changer, Joe.
Lillian says, when I was out on Monday, I saw a woman at the Tesco's cash point in her PJs, dressing gown and slippers. Later on, I saw another woman out in her slippers. Where on earth do you live, Lillian? Do let us know. Do you remember the supermarket chain banning people going in their dressing gowns not so long ago? I do.
I do remember that. And do you remember, I mean, I don't know if you know Chris Cook.
Who?
Chris Cook. He works for a magazine publishing company here that we work with, the Crafter's Companion.
Don't know.
He had a post on social media that went absolutely viral, Cookie did, because he took a photograph of someone in our onesie with our rollers in the supermarket and basically said, there's just no need.
Right.
Get dressed. And then it went all over social media. It went viral. Did you see it?
Right. No, I don't think I did.
It's a few years ago. But that is his claim to fame. He's renowned for being the person who did
took the picture, started the device thing. Yeah. When I first ever went to Liverpool, Leann, I thought it was a myth that, you know, the girls went up the high street in the afternoon with their rollers in. I just thought that was just a cliche myth. It's not. Everyone's got their rollers in on a Saturday afternoon in Liverpool.
It's true.
It's true, yeah.
Well, each to their own. I mean, if you want your hair to be beautiful when you go out that night, you might just need that extra bit of oomph in your volume.
How long do rollers take? That was my main takeaway question from that weekend in Liverpool.
I think the longer they're in, the better it is.
Right.
Because it forces the memory. I mean, I don't know, because I've got curls, so I don't have to put rollers in. But I think the longer you do it, it forces the memory in the hair.
What would happen if you did put rollers in and curled your hair?
I would look like crystal tips. They literally go like Leo say.
Okay.
Tight, straight to me head. Terrible.
That's what I used to call Leann. That was Leann's nickname when we used to work together. Leann O'Sayer.
Yeah, Leann O'Sayer, that's what Joe used to call me. And Charlotte has asked, have I ever straightened it?
Oh,
Once.
I'd love to see it straightened.
There is a photograph of that.
Is there? How did that look?
Horrific.
Why?
I looked like, yeah, but no, but yeah.
Right.
I looked like Vicky Pollard.
Right.
Oh, it was not a good look. I think just because I've always had the curls, Joe, I just look alien if I haven't got the curls. And all I needed was a pink velour tracksuit.
Is it on your Facebook, this picture?
It would never went public. It's
Right,
in the
okay.
secret private annals of I might flash it on my phone at you, but I'll never send it to you.
Right, okay.
It's that
fair
kind of photograph. Right, so I have stamped all of my, so you see me ink them all up, and I've stamped them onto the watercolour card. Again, don't worry about getting a whole butterfly. It's an artistic representation. It's fine that the wings are coming off the side.
Right.
You can see here, absolutely fine for that to happen. Actually, sometimes I think it looks much more stylistic when they do hang off the side a little bit rather than being that whole image.
Yeah.
But you know, you do you, but I like that. Then you're going to take your spritzer and you're just going to give it a little push. And the colours will start to move.
Nice.
And that's all you need to do. Don't overdo it. Just give it a little bit of a, and then that's done the colouring for you. You don't need to do anything else now. Put them to one side, let it dry. And when we come to assembling the card, if these haven't dried, we will blast them with our heat tool. So they're on one side now, so I'll do another quick wipe up, and then we'll move on to the next piece.
Caitlin says we should do a Throwback Thursday on your socials, Leanne. Why don't you send her the photo, Caitlin say?
No.
No, fair enough.
I'm not falling for that.
No.
Nice try, Caitlin, but no cigar pet.
There you are.
Yeah, can't be doing that. I might show you though, Joe.
My mum wanted me to have a demi-wave, you know, when I was about 9.
Demi-wave. That's a true 80s.
Yeah, a demi-wave. It means it's like a half perm, essentially. She was like, because my hair was very straight. Well, it still is quite straight. So she'd be like, we need to just get a bit of texture in it. Why don't we let's book you in for a demi-wave. I was thinking, gosh, I can't think of anything worse.
No.
Imagine me with like a perm.
No.
Poor 9-year-old child.
I remember my dad had a demi-wave.
Did he?
Yes, he did. That was very like late 70s, early 80s demi-waves. My dad, I'll get the curly hair from my dad.
Right.
But then, it's very fine, Alex hair. So it was just falling a bit flat, looking a bit rotten. So we decided to have a demi-wave.
Right.
Didn't really suit him.
No?
No.
I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I escaped the demi-wave. Jennifer is loving all of these awesome techniques you're sharing with us. I mean, it's a great thing about the show. If you're all crafting along with Leanne, that's brilliant. You're going to make a project. But all of the techniques that you're showing us, Leanne, you can take them off and into other projects, can't you, very easily?
You can. I just want to show you as well. So one of the butterflies, the colour, look, it's moving too much for my liking.
Right.
So if that starts to happen for you at home, you're like, oh, it's all gone wrong. Just get your heat gun out and stop the water moving. It's because there's water on there and it keeps moving. To stop that from all blurring into something that no longer resembles a butterfly,
Okay.
do a quick blast with your heat gun, and that will stop the water from interfering with the ink, and you'll keep the effect that you've got on the piece of card. And I could just see them out the corner of my eye, Joe, and I thought in half an hour's time when we come to assemble the card, they're not going to look like butterflies anymore. So I just want to prevent the progression of that water by giving it a quick blast.
Amazing. Any questions you've got, get them into me. Tess loves this technique, so it's really, really lovely. Zoe's going to try it as well. And Rosalind says, oh dear, going out of the house with rollers, scarves, PJs was totally unacceptable for the elders in the family. Oh yeah, you can't. I don't think you can go out. I wouldn't even pop to the co-op or the coffee shop across the road in my dressing gown.
No, me neither. You wouldn't get me outside of my house. In fact, it would be a sad day in the Leann Chivers household if I went to hang my washing out in my dressing gown.
Really?
Yeah, I need outdoor clothes to be outdoors.
Right. I do look like death warmed up though some days when I leave the house. When I go, the first thing I do in the morning at home is slip a jumper on, a pair of joggers and a pair of trainers and go straight down to the coffee shop before I've done anything, Leanne.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, Joe, because you've got clothes on.
Yeah, but I mean, I probably look rough.
Doesn't
do you know
matter.
what I mean? Really rough.
Doesn't matter. What I've done there on watercolour card, Joe, is use that butterfly that I've just used for the technique, and I have stamped it twice with our Finesse. I think I might have used the wrong ink pad. Oh, I have. I'm going to do it again, Joe. I've used alcohol proof and I needed waterproof.
No worries at all. I'm sure it happens to the best of us, Leanne.
Yeah.
Christine Mahoney says, I love all of these techniques. We need more of these craft-alongs with you, please, Leanne.
Oh, thank you.
Don't forget as well, you'll get everything you need aqua pen-wise in that mega bundle that you've got. Remember, you're getting 3 sets of the Tricolour markers within there, and you are getting 4 of the 12 packs of the aqua markers as well. So they're all coming included in there. You're getting the watercolour cardstock, which we're running quite low on, by the way. What I would say is if you're needing some watercolour cardstock, I would get it today because it could go. We are really low on it, so definitely grab it if you need to stock up, because it is going to sell out very, very soon.
Yeah, it is going to be like hen's teeth soon. And we are trying our best, but there's just like a world shortage in the manufacturing, so yeah, get it while you can would be the advice. So I've stamped that in Finesse waterproof, and I've used the colour Pebble because it's not quite as harsh as black. So I've done that. Now then, I'm just going to clean my stamp platform, give it a little rub. Not be long before you don't have to do that. Hint, hint. And then I'm going to take my tiny little fabulous snips, crafty scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut both of these butterflies out.
Glorious. I don't know how you're going to feel about this, Leanne. My hubby is always going out to take the trash out or check the mail in his underwear. Are we talking just undercrackers, as in just his
So just his pants?
His boxer briefs, is that what we're talking about here, Jennifer? Where on earth do you live? It must be a nice warm climate. You must be in the south somewhere. Because imagine if you lived up north going out in just undercrackers.
I think because if it's a warm climate, that's just like going out in your swimming trunks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind
I mean,
of.
it depends what sort of, you know, if it's a very long vest, maybe I could, you know, if you does that constitute underwear, or are we talking a little pair of budgie smugglers? I think we need a little bit more
context.
We need a little bit more context there.
Yeah, a little bit more context in terms of exactly what that is, and then we'll be able to pass comment at that point.
Gosh, we're getting, all the stories are coming out today, Leanne. Sarah Brown says, this happened some years back. I went to the movies with my cousin and his girlfriend, now wife. She wore pyjamas to go to the cinema.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, each to their own, Joe. You know, there's a lot worse things you could be doing, and you're not hurting anybody by doing that, are you?
No, I guess not, but, you know. Anyway, undercrackers, that sounds funny, says Gilmore. That's what I call them, undercrackers. Stephanie says, Gilmore says, budgie smugglers, lol. Other brands of very skimpy underwear available. I think budgie smugglers is actually a brand.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an Australian brand, I think, yeah. It goes out in his boxer briefs, Jennifer says. Nothing else to put the bins out and get the mail.
Well, look, I want to know, how does Jennifer feel about that?
And how do you feel about it, Jennifer?
That's all that matters. How does Jennifer feel about it?
Stephanie says, good morning everyone, running late on everything today. Oh well, glad to finally catch a little as was watching the grandkids. It's thrown my schedule off. Happy to be here with Leanne, Joe, CTV and Crafters as well. Have a lovely day. You have a lovely day as well. Central Florida, there you go. I think that's probably why you can get away with it.
I think it's allowed in Central Florida, I would say. I would say it's
I think
allowed.
it also depends how long your drive is as well, doesn't it?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say so. That's an excellent
I mean, if you had a really massive drive, you wouldn't want to be in your underwear out there, you know, scuttling the whole length of it. But if you've got just a very short drive, it's just a quick dash, isn't it?
That's very true, Joe. Yeah. Very beautifully observed. Right. So now we're back to the butterflies.
Yes, back to the schmetterlings.
Back to the schmetterlings. And now you'll have noticed that I've chopped the antenna off of the butterflies. Life is too short, people, to be trying to cut round those.
Yeah,
when you're
I agree.
cutting. Don't fear not. I'll be showing you a way to fake the fact that they're still there in a minute. But when you're cutting round, just don't try even. Just chop them off. Okay. Right, so now we're going to watercolour. And I'm going to watercolour with my clear sparkle pen this time. So I've got my clear sparkle pen and I've got my ink colours, that I used before. So I'm using the same ink colours all the way through. And I'm just going to pop them on my mat again. I won't need quite as much this time. I can always add a little bit more if I need it, because we're just going to watercolour the butterflies.
They're packed full of ink, these aqua markers, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They go on
a really
forever.
long time.
Yeah, they really do. So give your clear sparkle pen a good shake. Now what I like to do is just a I've hardly dampened my big brush here. I've got my dirty pot, it doesn't really matter. Hardly put the tips in, so it's just a damp brush. And you can see I'm taking a lot of water off on the side, touch it on your towel. And then I'll give the butterflies just a little wipe over, so you haven't soaked the card or even really wet the card, but you've given it a little bit of moisture, which prepares it for receiving the ink that you're about to put on there. So with your clear sparkle pen now, you would pick up the colours that you want to paint with and paint that onto your butterfly. And again, no rhyme or reason to it, just wherever you would like it. I mean, if you would really want to, you could colour each little bit of this butterfly perfectly and get the colour really, you know, where you want it to be. That's entirely up to you. I prefer just to splodge it on any old haphazard way, because it all mixes together and looks lovely in the end. So I'm going to put that blue in there and here.
Really cool colour combo this. I love that pink and blue together. And the sparkle just really elevates it, doesn't it? Shelley says, I've noticed there's a lot of us in Central Florida. Wouldn't it be great if we could all get together and craft and socialise together? It would be great. I probably wouldn't invite Jennifer's husband by the sound of it though, Shelley, but yeah, sounds great. Count us in, we'll pop over, won't we?
Yeah,
We'd
definitely.
get work to pay for it, I'm sure they would.
I'm sure they would.
We could pop to Disneyland for a few nights whilst we're there.
I'll come and teach some one-to-one aqua marker classes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No problemo. Jennifer has come back and said it's somewhat in the country, it's not a big city, but it's an off street in our neighbourhood. I tell him to put pants on, does he listen? No.
I love that. Right, I'm going to now take a little bit of the navy, which is much darker, still with my sparkle pen, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this around around the very tip, just to give it some depth. And you see it makes the wings on the butterfly pop. I'm going to take it down the body a lot more.
Yeah, I don't think you miss the antenna once they're off as well.
No, you don't. We are going to put them back. We are going to put them back at a point in the future, but don't worry about it. And then I'm going to do the same with this one here. I will have a little bit of water on my mat. I'm just going to show you there. And that's so if I need to moisten the tip of my sparkle marker, I can put it in just ever so slightly to get that ink flowing again. But what I don't do is saturate the nib of my sparkle and lose all of that lovely sparkle that's in there, if that makes sense, Joe. So just pick up your colours, randomly apply them, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how. It's going to look beautiful at the end because the colours all work together. As long as you're using your sparkle marker, they've got that lovely glitter on there.
Jane says, have I missed, where were the butterfly stamps from? I can't remember off the top of my head.
So the butterfly stamp was from the Kindness Changes Everything set.
Kindness Changes Everything. Barbara says, I'll sign up for that class, one-on-one watercolour class. Yes, please. I think we might need to have a little bit of a chat about the logistics of it, to be honest, Barbara. But, you know, it's a nice thought, isn't it? It's a floral polymer stamp collection. It's on your screen there with a massive saving as well. Shelley's got a spare room you could stay in as well, which could be handy.
Oh, fantastic. I think that would be good, you know, Joe. We're talking in the...
We'll have to do it after the craft cruise, though, and after the craft Winnebago road trip.
Well, I was just about to say about the big purple bus, because in the Academy of Colour tutorial sessions, all of the people there have decided we're going to get a great big Crafters Purple bus and go on tour, take Academy of Colour on the road.
There you go.
All around the USA.
I think it'd be great.
All around.
Every single town?
Every single one.
Wow. You're
I mean,
busy
we'd
for a
need to
while.
be there for a year.
Years, yeah.
More than 1 year.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I'll come and do a bit of it. I don't know if I could do all of every single town in the US. Gosh.
Right, so the butterflies are done. They get put to one side to dry alongside with everything else. and then we move on to the next bit. Yeah, let's have, I'll do. I am going to get ready for the next bit. I need to get my machine out and tidy up. I need a Gemini machine out. Tidy up a little bit while you do your stuff, and then I'll see you in a minute.
All right, well, that's what we will do then. We'll take a very quick pause there, give you an opportunity to catch up. Let's take a complete break then. Let's share with you all the details of Club Inspire whilst you get yourself right.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
It's always lovely to get to catch up with some of our viewers. Brenda says, when I hit the lotto, I will fly Leann over for some one-on-one colouring classes. How about that? I think that sounds like a great idea. And also Laura says if you did classes when you came over to the US, you'd never get any sightseeing done, which is true. You never know. Let me share with you the stamps that we spoke about a second ago. That contains a butterfly. This is a collection. Look at the usual price. Should be £29 or $35 almost. $8.50 or $10 today. So you're going to get this one in here. That's your once in a lifetime. You've also got that, which is a massive stamp. That's your wildflowers and butterflies. And then you've got two further collections. This one is the Have a Lovely Day with the rose there and also the sentiments around that. And then this is the Kindness Changes Everything. That's the one that butterfly has come from that you just saw Leann using a moment ago. $6.80 or $8 if you're a platinum member and you want to be able to snap those up. Right, Leann, how are you getting on? I think everyone seems about caught up if you're ready to go.
Oh yes, I'm definitely ready to go. I'm just preparing myself. So this, you might find this at home as well. I'm looking at the butterfly panels I did earlier. And I'm thinking I had too much water on there because the ink's moving around quite a lot. So what I'm just doing is getting myself some more pieces ready so that when I come later to assemble the card, should I feel like I need to do them again, I've got the bits ready and we can do them again. So I'm going to see what they're finished looking like. The thing with aqua markers and when you add water is if you don't dry it, it keeps moving and sometimes you can lose the definition. So with the spare piece of watercolour card, I'm taking this die set, which is our Deco Square set that does the gatefolds for you. I really love these shapes. And I'm going to cut the inner shape from watercolour card, the littlest one, which is that one. And I'm just going to run that through my junior.
Amazing. Any questions you've got, remember you can keep getting them in. If there's anything you're stuck with or anything you desperately need to know, then fire those questions over. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube.
I've definitely done a challenge for Jake in cleaning this. Oh, it helps if you switch the blooming thing on, doesn't it? A challenge for Jake cleaning up the desk.
Right. Is it
need some
messy?
bleach.
Jan's in, like she'll clean it up for you. Just leave it for Jan.
Thanks, Jan. Right, I'm going to leave that one there and I'm going to put the next die size up and I'm going to cut that from textured lilac card. So you see what I like to do so I don't waste my card, Joe, is put my die on and then if it's a fresh new piece is cut roughly the size I need. And that means I haven't wasted any of that really precious cardstock. And then I've got a piece that will work. It does mean you need to try and keep your die still though and not woggle around when you put it in, but I'm sure we can all manage that. There we go, let's put them plates together. Hope that that hasn't moved. If it has, I'll have to do it again. Put them through the machine. And you see I'm using my junior plates in my Gemini because I'm cutting small dies.
Yeah.
So I don't need the big plates. Oh, look, see?
Oh no, oh
Yeah.
no,
Oh no. So let's do it
no.
again. I'm going to use some tape. I'm going to find my repositionable tape. I was lazy, Joe, and didn't use my repositionable tape, which I'm going to do because it just stops things moving around.
Just like a little insurance policy for your die
It is,
cutting, isn't it?
absolutely it is, and I should have.
And I guess if you coloured something and then were die cutting it and it slipped, you'd be crying,
Well,
wouldn't
you'd be fuming. You would. You only need a little bit. And what I do is, when it's like this on the pattern card, I just take a little bit of that sticky off and then just hold it still. There we go. Run it through again. That nearly fell out the bottom.
Those plates are.
They're well used.
They are well used, aren't they?
But they still work.
Yeah.
And there's loads more life in them.
Really?
So, oh, yeah, absolutely. I would keep using them until they literally just give up.
Yeah.
I never, ever get a new set of plates until my plates literally snap in half.
Right, okay.
I just keep using. This is, still works absolutely fine. So I've got my little lilac square there now. And then the next dies I need are the next size up. And these are in 2 halves because they create that gatefold. What I'm going to use is my repositionable tape and those 2 dies. And I'm just going to put them together to make a nested shape for me, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'll get a piece of black card because the next little matinee is going to be on black card. So again, I'll just check for size, see where I need it. It's going to be about there. Okay, so onto my plate, I've got my piece of black cardstock, my 2 dies, which I will put together closely. And because I'm doing that, upside down there on top of your card, because I'm doing that, I will need my repositionable tape, which I've just put down.
Fabulous. Those were on a launch party last night, these dies as well. I know they launched on Friday last week. They were very, very busy.
They're lovely, aren't they? Do you know, it's one of those simple techniques, Joe, that we've all been doing for years and trying to make a nested set do for us to get those lovely gatefolds. Sometimes you have more failure than success with it. And then having a set of dies that will do this for you, but then give you the dies to do the perfect mats and nails and little frames in the middle. I think it's one of those concepts that's genius, but it's simple. But then when you see it and hear it, you're like, oh, absolutely, I need that in my life. Why have I not had it in my life before now? So I've popped that together. You see how I've taped them so that they don't move. And that creates me the correct nest, but on a bigger size, so you don't have to use it as the gatefold.
Perfect.
There will be a little bit that I need to snip, but I'm fine with that. So,
Amazing.
If you like that shape and you haven't got a nesting die that's shape and you want to use them in this way, you can. Put them together like that. Pop it through.
Carletta says, I don't answer the phone when I'm watching Crafters TV unless I know it's very, very important. We appreciate your dedication, Carletta. I don't answer my phone ever. If someone rings that hasn't pre-planned the phone call, I think, what on earth? Why is anyone ringing me? We just don't ring people anymore. We just don't ring anymore, do we?
We don't. I like a text message to say, is it all right if I call?
Yeah, there would definitely be, I need to speak to you about something. Are you free in half an hour? I'll call you. Yes, call me. Brilliant. Okay, then I'm expecting it to ring.
I'm like that with spontaneous house visits as well, Joe.
Right.
I'm not a turn up at my house and expect that the kettle's going to be on and there's a warm welcome.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not that person at all.
Because because I might be busy doing something, I could be in the middle of a craft project, I could be watching a box set, I could be doing anything, Joe.
When are you ever rarely just sat at home waiting to receive guests?
But however, if I know you're coming,
yeah,
and we've chatted about it, I am the hostess with the mostess.
Who does that then? Do people still just drop in on you?
Well, it was back in the day, I think, Joe. See how they've got these little bits here? I'm just showing you, by the way, when you do that, and then you're just taking your little snips and just doing that. And actually, then what you've got is just a perfect nest and a bigger size. So I've got my nest and I said, I think we're like in the 70s and earlier and in the 80s a little bit, it was just neighbours would call in.
I think if you're willing,
kettle on?
Yeah, I think you're willing to. If you're willing to drop in, you have to be prepared. Someone say, no, sorry, not a good time. Come back another time.
Yes, I think so too. Or you've got 5 minutes, and then you can leave.
Would you like another cup of tea before you go?
I sound very antisocial, don't I? I'm not antisocial.
No, not at all.
I like to be planned. I'm not good with surprises.
Everyone's agreeing with you in the comments. Lillian says, yes, spontaneous house visit are not allowed.
But if I'm expecting you, I'm the hostess with the mostess, you're very welcome, and I'll do everything I can to make you visit the nicest one, because I love to cook and bake and make cakes and tea.
See, I'd be able to, it's quite handy for me, because in my flat, if they buzzed my flat, I'd be able to see who it was without picking up the phone. They'd never know if I was in or not.
I love that.
Yeah, to be able to see
That's
who it
very
was.
Nifty.
Yeah, see who
I
it is
like that. I
first,
need
why
an
not?
entry system. What I've learned today, Joe, is I need an entry system.
I think I would be up for spontaneous house visit. I just think the people that I'd be willing to allow a spontaneous house visit would just be a very small,
a select
would
group.
be a very small pool of people.
Yes. Yes. So I'm just going to let you know, I've got this on watercolour card.
Charlotte's so needy. She's like, am I in it? Yeah, you could visit me, Charlotte. You'd be allowed a spontaneous house visit.
Charlotte, you can visit me as well.
There you are.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm going to stamp now in Pebble the same colour that I stamped the butterflies with before into the centre of this die cut frame. Okay, so I've got that stamped in there. Okay. Joe, we need to find out if Charlotte has started her skincare regime.
I don't think she has. Oh, she has. She's got the serum that you suggested.
The serum.
Has it changed its name now?
It has. It's Edelweiss now.
Ah, why is that?
Don't know.
Is it the same?
Well, I think it had Edelweiss in. So
they've just changed what it's called.
Yes, because I think the name was maybe a bit offensive to some.
Right, okay. It is very good.
Yeah, it is. It's excellent. You've got to use it for it to work, but it's
Yeah.
excellent. So now what we've got, I've stamped the butterfly in the same colour, and now the two that I'd coloured early, what I'm doing is I'm taking a tiny bit of tacky glue just down the body, and I'm sticking the two together. Just pinch that for a couple of seconds, just till it grabs. And do this now, because while you're doing your other pieces, this glue can be drying. So just pinch that. And I'll pull the wings up as well to start and give it a little bit of shape. You don't want it to come apart, so might need a little bit more glue. So here's the other thing. Your butterflies need to be fully dry before you put your tacky glue on.
Okie doke.
Because tacky glue doesn't stick as well when the cardstocks are wet.
Okie doke.
So I'm not following my own good advice right now. Come on. There we go. So we'll leave those to dry. And then while that's drying, on here now, I'm going to put a little bit of tacky glue just down the body. And actually around the sides of these wings here, just a little bit. Just a tiny amount, you don't need a lot. So I'm just tracing around the inside of the butterfly. Just a little bit, there we go, that'll do. Pin back in so it doesn't dry up. This is when I definitely need my glasses, Joe. There we go. And then what you do is you take your butterflies and you pop that on top. And the bottom one will remain static, this top one will get the wings lifted. But look, it's put the 4 antenna back in, off where we chopped them off before.
Oh, nice.
Do you see what I mean? So you can see them, but you haven't had to try and cut round them, and you haven't got those horrible leggy pieces. And then when you pick up your wings, you've got that lovely coloured topper, but you've got your nice little antenna in place there as well. So that's how you make your topper, and then just leave your tacky to dry.
Really, really cool.
Just get that lined up properly there. Move it around. You can wiggle it a little bit, so you don't want to see the lines. There we go, happy with that. All right, so that gets put to the side and is allowed to dry. And my 2 pieces here now go onto the side, because they're ready for my mats and layers. And then we're going to move on to the next bit, Joe.
Marvellous. Lots of people are still chatting away. Barbara says drop-ins always come at the worst possible time as well when you get an unannounced visitor. Lillian says never seen these stamps before, absolutely loving them. Christine is talking about maybe adding the glossy highlights to the butterflies as well. Another really great thing you can do. You take it however you want, can't you? You can take it in a whole host of different directions. Remember as well, what you're getting if you're going for the mega bundle is you are getting loads of goodies when it comes to your aqua markers, because you're going to get the tricolours in the 3 different collections. So you're going to get the Floral Meadow, the Essential Neutrals, and also the Colour Basics. And then what you've got is the 12 packs as well in the original aqua. So you've got the florals. You will also receive the essentials, which are all of those. These ones here are your primaries, and you will get the nature too. Loads of things you can do with your aqua markers also. Remember, if you're getting the mega bundle, you'll get the clear overlays, which Leann's been using as a sort of sparkly water brush, and the watercolour cardstock included. And this just here gives you just a snapshot. A snippet is what I was going for. I mean, I ended up a snapshot. I don't know what that is. Of what you can do with them. So there's loads of different techniques. That salt technique that Leann showed you, stamping with the pens, and drawing the colour out, heat embossing and then watercolouring, doing resist techniques. There are so many you can do with your water-based markers. You've got a great saving on this bundle too, $48.91 or $69.63 is what you are going for. The thing that we're really low stock on in this bundle actually, and it is available individually, gosh, I don't stuck. I've got a friend's dentures in today, is our watercolour cardstock. There's less than 100 of the watercolour cardstock left. So if you've been meaning to stock up, we'll try and get it back in as quickly as we can, but I don't know when that will be. So you will need to be quick if you want any of your watercolour cardstock, either in the bundle or away from the bundle as well. Any other questions you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you're over on YouTube. But we're going to go back to the lovely Leann. What's next, Leann?
So I'm just going to show you 2 different alternatives to put some colour around your butterfly, and you can choose whichever is your preference, because there's a couple of different ways of doing it. So I'm just going to grab a piece of packaging. So I've got a packet of watercolour card here, and I'm going to raise the plastic that comes with it. So when you receive your products at home, don't put your packaging in the bin, because you can use it for some of your watercolour techniques. So I'm just taking a piece of this packaging from the watercolour card.
I've never seen the packaging for this used.
Okay, I'm going to take that glue off so it doesn't stick to it. So I just want to show you a couple of different ways. And the choice, as they say, is yours, Joe. Right, so first things first, we're going to put a few of the colours. Let's just stick with the blues for now, I think. Let's go teal and aquamarine. So I'm going to put some teal down and some aquamarine down. Again, I'm using the same colours from before. I might put a little bit of navy in there actually, just to give it a little bit of je ne sais quoi. Just a small bit, because it's dark, so you don't want it to overtake. Then what you do is you take your package scrumpled. Voila. Okay, spritz the ink on the mat. So it's water on top. Then take your piece of packaging and make sure it's nicely scrumpled. So you can give it a good scrumple first, and then you want to really rough it up in your fingers so you've got lots of texture in there when you've got a hold of it. You might want to use a bigger piece because you are going to get inky fingers. So if you want to use a bigger piece, you can. Then what you do is you dip this in here and you do that.
Oh, I like that.
And you get that full kind of, I've been really artistic with my watercolour and splotted it in random places, but you haven't really, you've just picked it up.
That's very clever.
So you can do that, and then obviously I've got too much there, so I'm just going to clean that up. And then if you want to put another layer of colour on top of that, clean all of that up first, clean your piece of packaging so that you don't contaminate the colours, like that. Take another colour, I'm going to take this one, a little bit of water again, my packaging.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And I would say less is more. And that's good now. So then I would dry it.
It looks like a very sort of, a very trendy, what's the word? What people in the army wear.
Oh, camouflage.
Camouflage, like trendy camouflage.
It does look like trendy
like if
camouflage.
Prada did camouflage, that's what
yeah,
it looks like.
Yeah, it does look like trendy camouflage, Joe. You're absolutely right. Okay, and then you just clean up your bit of ink. Now, that's good. So you see, I've wasted quite a bit of that ink cleaning it away there. What I do is I have little die cuts of watercolour card all in a pile at home. And then when I've done an inky technique, like all the inky techniques I've been doing up to now, before I clean my mat, I just dab it up with some packaging like that, and then I've got a stack of them already prepared to go. And you know, you can then spray it with your sparkle ink or whatever you want to do, but it just looks pretty, doesn't it? Now, when we've done it like this, what I could do if I wanted is take my packaging and just stipple all around the edge, or I could have stamped now that butterfly on there and overlaid the butterfly on top, which is actually what I've done on the main sample. You can see that. But another thing you can do is, I thought it might be, I'm sneaking in an extra couple of bonus techniques. Show that out in the project. How do we feel about that?
Sorry?
Sneaking in extra techniques that are
Oh,
bonus.
you go for it. I'm
Are
sure
you
no
okay
one's
with
going to
that?
brush you up, yeah.
So I'm going to, because I'm not really sticking to plan now. You know what I'm like going off piste. I shouldn't be allowed out really, Joe. Okay, so I'm using a couple of the colours, and then I'm going to get a soaking wet brush. And I need my kitchen towel. Where's my kitchen towel? Where's the kitchen towel? Here it is. Just need a couple of pieces in case something goes wrong. And then I just like to fling it, Joe. Fling it at the topper. Fling it. So what we're going to do is get a detail brush this time. So I haven't got the large background brush. Detail brush, nice and plenty of water. Pick up your ink and then stand back. Cover anything that's precious in your craft room.
Right.
And then on the side of your finger, splat.
Oh, I love it.
And then you can aim it in those directions. And you can see some of them goes on the butterfly, and that's okay too because it feels very kind of random and a little bit more artistic. I really do quite like that splatter result. And you can mix a couple of the colours together. I'm going to show you what to do with your butterfly in a second because some of them have gone on there. I'm getting that lovely kind of splat that's on there. Keep picking it up and doing it until you're happy with the result. You don't want any more. And then any of the little splats that have arrived on your butterfly, just take your almost dry brush and do that, and they'll just mix in as part of the colour underneath. So you can't see them anymore, but you've still got all the sparkle. There we go. And if at any point you think, oh, I'd like a bit more bright colour on that butterfly, I'm totally winging it now, you can pick up a tiny bit with your detail brush and you can add some more in. And then what you get is some really lovely darker colours. Once they're dried, the sparkle doesn't go away because it's still underneath and you don't dilute it. You could actually just do this with a sparkle marker if you wanted as well, if you really didn't want to lose any of the sparkle. And then you can intensify some of the colour where you feel you need it. So bit of the sparkle. And I wanted much more hot pink and purple in the centre here. So I can add that on. And if I want to add a little bit down on the edge, I can. There we go.
Nice.
There we are. So that's 2 different ways of doing that decorative panel. And you're just going to choose your poison. Which do you prefer? The one that we did with the packaging, which is like the one I've done on the sample, or do you like the more random splattered background? If you want to intensify that a little bit, you can take a spritzer and just a very light mist, and it'll soften it and move the inks around. And then leave it to dry. It's entirely up to you. We're going to have the splattered one on the finished card, but I think I might prefer that one.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Either one. I didn't protect my surfaces here, so we're definitely going to need some bleach after the show. We might need to give them, give John and Jake a little warning. Right. Okay. So next, Joe, we're going to get ready to make the card base.
Okie doke.
So just tidy. I'm having a little
Do you
tidy.
need a minute?
Yes, please. Just a little tidy.
Thank
you.
Laura says, I had a former friend who lied to another friend, had sent me a gift through her. She told him she'd stop by my apartment, but I wasn't home. Turns out she never knew my address and she'd kept the gift for herself. How rude. El scandalo, that is. I would not like someone to drop in right now, says Kathy. I'm organising my craft fair and I've got stuff all over the living room. Crafty Angie was loving the glitter on the wings there on that butterfly as well. Miriam loves both, and Nancy says, I'm watching on my TV, and the detail is so awesome. Shadi are loving a splatting technique as well. Mary and Barbara both loving the look as well. I want to share a couple of other items with you. The Illustrated Animals Stamp and Die 5-piece collection here with 25 elements. These are great. These watercolour up beautifully. Love that element. And also the seahorse is in here. We always seem to get down some sort of black hole when we do the seahorses. I don't know why. You're getting a brilliant discount though. Look at that. Saving £52 or $59 here on that particular collection. So definitely snap those up. We've also got some tricolour stamps for you too. These ones here, again, another amazing saving though. £22 or $28, saving 70% there on those, $7.60 or $9.20 if you are a platinum member. We've got the trifold aperture of stamps and dies available too. You had a little look at these earlier. They make a really cool trifold concept, and you've got that beautiful imagery sort of built into the card concept as well. And again, saving way more than you're spending there on that particular collection of stamps and dies. We also have the outline florals available too, £13.50 or £19 there on those, saving you 30%. They're a really lovely selection of stamps to colour. And also the floral photopolymer stamp collection. This is the one where Leann took that butterfly from, you see in the bottom right corner there, a little earlier. It's a really lovely collection of stamps that, and again, saving way more than you're spending on that one. £8.50 or $10 is your today price. We also have a 12-piece marker wallet, really lovely sort of travel wallet this. You want to take a few pens out with you on a little journey. This is limited stock though, that means less than 10% of our stock is now available. You will need to be quick for that, under £10 or $14 if you are a platinum member. Sandra is drooling over their 12x12 haul from the offer. I wonder which offer that was. You can't never have too many 12x12s though. Let's face it. Right, we're going to go straight back to Leann. What's next, Leann?
We're going to make the card base, Joe. So I'm going to take some of my multi-purpose cardstock.
Okay.
I've got a couple of pieces, and the first piece I'm going to cut down to, let's just move that water because I've got a vision of it going everywhere. Right, so I'm going to get my guillotine and I'm going to cut the first piece of multi-purpose, what have I done? Oh, there it is there, to 7 inches by 10 inches. And so this larger guillotine with the extendable leg is perfect for your larger cards like that, because you can cut your full length, 8.5 by 11 or your A4. So that's 7.5, I think, was that 7.5? No, that was 10. 10 by 7 inches. So I'm going to go to 7 now. There we go. I always like to do a little visual down the grid line, make sure I'm in the right place. Cut that. So that's my card base. And then I need another piece which is 10 inches by 2.5 inches. Keep the other pieces for later for another project. Got both of those, and then I'm going to use my big score, and I'm going to score at 5 inches and 2.5 inches.
Fabulous.
So my 5-inch line is here. I'm going to score 5. And then 2.5 is here. Do exactly the same on the smaller piece. 5, 2.5. Okay, move out the way. Fold your card in half, and then on the 2.5-inch score line, fold it back and burnish.
Fabulous.
Got that, and then do exactly the same with your smaller piece. So in half, burnish, and back and burnish. So you've got exactly the same. You've seen lots of us do this many times, but I'll repeat it in case you're new. So you can see you've got both pieces there exactly the same. You just take this piece and do that, and when that's adhered on, that's what makes your Z fold for you.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we've got those ready. Now I'm just going to do some cutting for some matting and layering. So for my base card, I need my guillotine now. So I'm going to do my mats and layers. Black card I love for mats and layers, Joe. Okay. Really does make everything pop out, especially when you're doing an inked background or something like this that's a little bit artistic. Makes everything pop and lift from the page. So my first mat is going to be 6 3/4. So remember it was 7 by 10. And which made it a 7 by 5 card base. Yeah. So my first mat is going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller all around. So it's going to be 6 3/4 by 4 3/4.
Amazing. I'm glad you worked that out. I thought you were asking me there for a second to work out what that was. And I was thinking, oh, you're definitely going to end up with a donkey's back leg of a card.
I definitely wouldn't put you on the spot like that. 4 3/4. There we go. So that's that one. That's the first one. And then I need a 6 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm just going to check that. That's definitely on the 3/4 mark again. Yep. And so my next one will be 2 1/4. Which is there. That's that one. And then I need, oh, I need another one that size, I think. Oh. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I need another one at 6 3/4. Just reminding myself. By 2 3/4. Which is that. I think I might have done one the wrong size. It's 2 1/4 I need. Not 2 3/4. Just reminded myself, Joe, beg your pardon. 2 1/4. Right. So I've got 3 mats now for my 3 watercolour panels in black. And just to remind you, they were 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 and 6 3/4 by 2 1/4.
Brilliant.
Checking all my measurements on my bit of paper here. We'll make sure we can post them out here. So you've got, so they're already there. And now for my Z fold, I'm going to do my mats and layers. And for those I need 2 1/4 by 4 3/4 for the front. I might be able to get that from this, you know, let's see. No, that's just 2, so that's not big enough. So they can all go away to be used later. So I need 4 3/4 by 2 1/4, and I need 2 of those.
It's very busy. Lots of you going for all that mega bundle. We are getting very low in stock on that watercolour cardstock. I know I keep saying it, but it is very, very busy at the moment. So if you want to guarantee you're going to be able to stock up on that, I'll definitely get your order placed sooner rather than later for sure.
And then I need 2 2 1/4 squares. So 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. I always worry that this is very boring for everybody at home, you know, watching me cut all of these little pieces
I think they're probably doing it along with you, aren't they? So
yeah. Right, so we've got all of that ready. Now, oh yes, lilac, reminded myself. So I need to do the same with my lilac card to do all of my mats and layers. Right, so the next thing I need to do now is so the last one was 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So 1/4 of an inch smaller for the mat and layer takes us to 4 1/2 by 6 1/2.
Okie doke.
So this piece of card here now is going to be 6 1/2, which is there, by 4 1/2. And then I need 6 1/2. Good 6 1/2 by 2. I'll show you all these going together in a second. 6 1/2 by 2, and I need 2 of them. I'm going to get it out of that. So do out of this. 6 1/2. 2. Okay, let me just show you what that will do. So here's my mats and layers for the card base that we've done. So you can see by doing those 1/4 inches, it creates that perfect mat and layer for you. And we've got those on all of those pieces there. See how that's
perfect.
Following down. Okay? And so we need to do the same for the Z fold now. So that's them all done. So I need now for my Z fold 4 1/2 by 2. 4 1/2 by 2. I love a guillotine, Joe. Oh, I just really love it. It's just so easy. And
oh, you love this guillotine.
I love it.
Why do you love it so much?
I just find chopping with a guillotine so much quicker and easier because it's fast and you can see where your measurement is and it's accurate. I really do just think it's a superior mode of cutting, which probably sounds a bit bizarre, but I do absolutely love it. Right, I'm just going to trim this to the 2 that I need here so it's nice and straight. Actually, I'll do it here too. That edge isn't straight, I need to straighten that edge up. So I'll do it from the reverse, there we go. So if you've got it, so I can see that this edge is where I've trimmed a bit with my scissors and it's not straight. Okay. And I want a straight edge here before I do 4 inches so I can do a 2 inch square.
Right.
So to do that, when you've got an odd shaped piece of card, flip your card over, put the straight edge up at the top, trim it off. Now it's nice and straight, so that when I cut 2 inches now, it's a perfect 2 inches and it's following my line down straight. And I can do 2 by 2 and that allows you to get the most out of all of your straps. You can get like a good, you know, a good amount of use if you've got a wonky bit. Just straighten an edge up, take a fly's eyelash off the end, just straighten it, and then you can use that piece of card. So you can see I've got my mats and layers here now for that. Okay, so they're all ready to go. So these are all getting ready now, so we'll start assembling soon. So they're all ready. And I think now we can start assembling.
Brilliant.
How am I doing for time?
You have got half an hour left.
Wow! Well, I think I managed that time really well.
Yeah,
I think we'll
I
do
think
it.
you've
We'll do
got
it in time.
Bob on. How's everyone doing at home? Do let me know. Carol, guys, is good morning from Wisconsin. She managed to get some new markers on HSN. I'm thrilled to see Leann is on. Deborah says our family and friends have just dropped in without phone calls.
Rude.
But she goes on to say, Mum always said everyone is welcome to our house, and I'm the same way. No phone calls, just drop in for a cup of coffee and a chat.
Nice. And do you know what? That's lovely. And I would love that if I just dropped in and I was made so welcome. I think with me it's a little bit like I have to be planned.
Yeah, oh, absolutely would be. Lillian wants to know if you made a cake with. Did you try making a cake with whipped egg whites? Did it work? Says Lillian.
I don't think that was me.
No.
No.
I don't recall making a cake with whipped egg whites. Or even trying to.
It is delicious.
Maybe I was going to try.
It's I think it's a Genoese sponge.
Oh, the Genoese.
Yeah.
I did try.
Oh, how did it go?
Very well.
Did it? I love a Genoese
It was
sponge.
so light. It almost felt like you weren't eating cake.
Yeah. Was it chocolate?
Yes. Lovely chocolate Genoese. It was lovely.
One
Sorry, I completely was like, what about it? Yes, absolutely I did. It was delicious.
One of my favourite cakes is a Sacca torte.
Oh, I love a Sacca torte.
Yeah, which is Genoese chocolate sponge.
Many layers.
Orange, yeah, many layers with sort of an orange. You use an orange jam, I think. I use marmalade in mine. And then with chocolate ganache over the top.
Delicious.
From Vienna. I've actually been to the I can't say the word very well. Sacca Hotel in Sacca Hotel in Vienna, and I had a piece of the original one.
We say that in the northeast when we want to fire somebody from their
Sacca.
job.
Sacca. Sacca.
Sacca.
Sacca. Because I want to say Sacca. I don't know why, but it's not. It's Sacca.
Sacca, yes. I want to say Sacca as well.
Oh, good cake in Vienna, you know, Leann. If you like cake, go to Vienna. Oof.
I haven't been to Vienna, but I've been to Verona.
Nice.
Verona I loved.
Yeah,
Very
Vienna's
nice.
just all coffee houses that, like lovely little cafes where you queue up with a tray and you get a lovely pot of tea and a piece of gatto.
Is it in a proper pot with a cup and saucer?
It is, it really is.
Nice.
And delicious finger sandwiches. And it's just a whole city of
It's an
that.
experience.
But all the tea rooms are like, 400 years old. It's
I would love that. So
and
I love nothing more than a pot of tea and a slice of cake.
Absolutely.
So
and I love a massive schnitzel as well, so absolutely perfect for that
I
as well.
love a schnitzel, and I also love one of those massive pretzels.
Oh, a big pretzel.
Yeah.
How do I feel about a big pretzel?
Oh, I love the big pretzels.
The first couple of bites. I get a bit bored after that.
No, I love a big pretzel when they've got the big lumps of salt on. Oh. And it's doughy.
Have you been to Disney in Florida? And they have, I'm going to Epcot, and they have the big turkey legs.
So, I do remember those turkey legs, but I have to say, I'm just doing all my matting and layering here while we're talking, you can see. You're watching the matting and layering. I'm using small amounts of my all-purpose glue. So you can see how I'm applying a small amount all the way down. That is enough. Me and the Epcot Centre fell out.
You and what? Why?
I just want... So I'm afraid I'm going to offend many who love it.
Right.
I'm sorry. If you love the Epcot Centre, I'm so happy for you. But I really didn't like it. I just feel it's very fake. And of course it's fake. But my friend...
You know the concept.
I understand the concept, so I should have known
You
forward.
weren't really in Japan when you were at the...
Well, this is the whole point, because my friend had said to me before we went, you're going to absolutely love it. You're in Japan one minute, then you're in Paris, then you're in Italy, you've got the stars above you. And I was so excited for this experience. And it was fairy lights poked in the ceiling and a papier-mâché Eiffel Tower. And so I was a bit disappointed. And I just said to my husband, we have to leave this place. It's not for us.
Have you been to Vegas?
I'm not wasting a day here. I went to Vegas and I'll never return.
Oh, so you feel the same about it? Yeah.
For the similar reasons of... Also, the hotel with the... If I'm offending everybody, I apologise profusely.
What's the...
This is my personal...
What's the hotel with the what? With
personal opinion, to me only, which I'm now sharing with all of you.
Yeah.
The hotel that does the light show.
The Bellagio?
Him.
Yeah.
I was there with a work colleague. We'd gone to a show, electronic show, and Paul, he's no longer with us, God rest his soul, but what a lovely man. He said, Leann, I've got to take you to the Bellagio to see the display. You're going to love it, Leann.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, okay, I'm looking forward to this, because I really hadn't loved the slot machines and the papier-mâché Eiffel Tower and the moulded concrete cobbles on the floor. I wasn't enjoying that experience. It wasn't very authentic. So I thought, brilliant, lovely light show, fountains, gorgeous. Got there. It's a few lights with some hose pipes in a pond. You can see the hose pipes in the pond. That squirts some water up every now and again and then flash a light at you.
Didn't enjoy it?
It wasn't for me, Joe.
Oh.
I was
See,
like, I've
I'm
walked
so
all
excited.
the way down here. I've got blisters. I'm jet lagged.
Did you not? Was there nothing about it that you liked?
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Did you not go and see a lovely show?
No, didn't have time. I was working.
Oh.
Which maybe was the Maybe it was the problem, Joe. Might have been the problem. But I decided from that I would never go back. So
Miriam's with you.
Is she? See?
Oh gosh, yeah, maybe Leann's purple bus tour across the US is cancelled by the sound of it. How can you not enjoy New York?
So I can't say I didn't enjoy New York.
Right.
But and I know that, and so the song should have indicated to me concrete jungle, where dreams are made of.
It's like London, isn't it?
No.
You don't think it's like London?
Because I love London.
Right. But what do you love about London that you don't like about New York?
The architecture.
The architecture. What, it's all too modern for you, is that what you're saying?
It might be.
Yeah, there's not
There
really
was just
big
a
parks,
lot,
no
there's
parks
not
and
much
palaces.
colour. It was very grey. No, it's not the Buckingham Palace thing, no.
But I mean, there's not really any big old historical buildings, is that what it is?
Yes, I think it was just very grey.
It doesn't have a St Paul's Cathedral or a Tower of London or a
But then the
London
Rockefeller
Bridge.
Centre was great and the Empire State Building was great and I loved Times Square for that experience.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit, I liked it, I was just a bit underwhelmed.
Bit underwhelmed. Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The problem, Leann, is you didn't have enough alcohol when you went to Vegas. That's the problem.
That's true.
I keep getting myself in a TikTok black hole about going to Vegas. There's this woman that just reviews everything in Vegas on TikTok, and I just keep looking at all the places. So she's reviewed every hotel in Vegas.
Wow.
But like, here's a little look at this hotel. So I've decided I want to stay at the Wynn. I'm going to go. I definitely want to stay at the Wynn. And now I'm just in the process of deciding which day clubs and nightclubs I'm going to go to whilst I'm there.
How gorgeous. Yeah. You'll enjoy it. Send me a postcard.
Well, Laura says, I love Vegas. Got married there almost 24 years ago. We've been back 3 times.
There you go, you see. And what's right for one, what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander.
Absolutely.
Is it? We're all different. I mean, I'm sure, some of you might not like dragging yourself up a mountain in the Lake District.
No.
I can't say that I enjoy that either. Them to see tractors up there.
Wasn't the best example there?
I'm just going to be honest, guys. I would rather be at home crafting or in the gin bar in Durham. If it's not a champagne Saturday, I'm not interested.
There is some lovely cocktail bars in Vegas that you didn't visit.
Yes. It just had a feeling.
Right. Just wasn't your
me.
place.
Wasn't me, Joe. Right, so I've done all of my matting and layering now for my Z fold. And so we can start to reveal the techniques now. So we're going to rub the salt off, Joe. Off the salty backgrounds.
Okay,
so let's bring them in and see how dry they are. So they're still a little bit damp.
The purple bus is back on apparently.
They do need a little bit longer. So I'm going to get my heat gun and give it a dry.
I love this comment from Christine. I think people have to stop setting her up about how great everything is, underplay everything a little, then she may like something.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Who was that?
Christine Mahoney.
Christine, you are right, Christine. That's exactly what needs to happen.
You've been overpromised.
Overpromised, underdelivered. I need lots of recommendations from our fabulous guests, our fabulous viewers over there. Tell me where I need to go. Because, for example, on my bucket list, Nashville.
Yeah.
I really want to go to Nashville.
I can't imagine you'd enjoy it, actually.
I would love it. I know I would, because what I'm going to do
Based
is...
on your previous form.
Okay, rude. I'm going to have a Stetson. I want a suede jacket with tassels, a denim skirt and cowboy boots.
What if it just ends up being all shopping malls and fried food? You know, there might not be any of that.
I would eat fried food and go to shopping malls dressed like that.
Brilliant, okay.
But then I want to go and sit in a cafe, listen to live country music, sipping a bourbon.
Sipping a what?
Bourbon.
Bourbon. I think that's doable. I don't think that's an overpromise for you there.
I think I could do that. And I want to go to New Orleans, Joe.
Susie's in New Orleans. She's got a guest house as well.
I really want to go to New Orleans. I want to go for the Day of the Dead festival.
Right.
I really want to see that because I do like a bit of jazz. I really want to do that. I can tell you some other places I'd like to. Texas, Alabama.
Alabama, Texas, all the places.
Really
Right,
want to
well, we
go
should
there.
get it organised.
Thank you.
I hope you have a lovely time.
I want to see the real USA.
Do you?
And not the city USA.
Right. Not the
want
the Epcot Centre.
No, not the papier-mâché USA, the real
US.
The real life. That's what I like to see. I think that's, and even in the UK I'm the same. I'm talking too long
answers
now,
on a
Anne.
postcard for Leann as to where she needs to go to see the real USA.
Thank you.
We went when we were in New York. We went on Times Square. There's one of the famous hotels in Times Square. It has a revolving restaurant on the roof. Woo! We went there to a revolving restaurant. You sit and eat your dinner, literally sitting and eating your dinner, and just going round and round. The view is just like ever changing.
My word, that's fantastic. I've been in one of them in Taiwan.
Right. But it's funny watching the servers because they're on like a central bit where the food is everything, and then they have to like drop down onto it like it's a waltzer or something.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a bit
brilliant.
spinning.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's very good. I was going to say something there and I've forgotten what it was. Let me come back to you in a minute. So I'm just drying them, but it's still a little bit damp. Okay. You get, the longer you can leave it to dry, the more of an effect you will get. Okay, so, but we'll go with this. And then all you do is just rub it off. And you get all of that kind of marbled, mixed effect that you can see there.
Love it. You can go to Tess's farm in Wisconsin, apparently.
Ooh.
Donna wants to know if you've ever line danced.
I want to line dance.
Yeah, have you line danced?
I've never line danced, but I really want to learn.
Lillian says I've got a horrible urge to lick the salt.
Oh, don't lick the salt. So, I'll just show you the difference here. This was the first one we did. This was the first one we did, and so this had longer, and you can see the effect there is more pronounced than the last one. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
So it's a little bit more, and that's because it's had longer to dry. So the longer you can leave that, overnight's good, the better it would be. And of course, the more the intense the colour as well. But you can do it pastel or you can do it dark, it's entirely up to you. So once the salt's all rubbed off, we'll just clean up the salt off the top of the desk. Now I do keep my salt at home.
Right.
So I've got a pot of salt for blue and purple cards. I've got a pot of salt for...
Not to eat, we're not eating this now.
I'm not eating it, no, you're definitely not eating this now. Not that it's at all poisonous, but you're definitely not eating it. So I've got a pot of salt for blue and purple cards, a pot for the green and yellow and orange, a pot for the colour combinations that work together, and then you can use it again, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
so
okay,
you don't have to have a new pot every time. Just till it gets so absorbed with colour, it's going to transfer the colour to a new project, then refresh it.
Right.
But you'd get a good 5 or 6 uses out of that easily.
Perfect. That's always good to know. Mend and make do. It's so pretty, says Miriam. Lots of people really, really enjoying this craft along.
Good. I'm pleased. Right, so I've got a little bit more all-purpose here. Now onto my larger panel, and that's going here. I love these little striations that you get. It looks like coral. It looks like undersea coral, yeah. Under the sea. I love Disney, Joe, Florida.
Do you? Just not the Epcot Centre?
Just not the Epcot.
Did you like Magic Kingdom?
Loved Magic Kingdom.
The studios?
Loved the studios.
Right.
Loved...
Animal Kingdom?
Animal Kingdom, loved it.
Right.
MGM Tours, loved it.
MGM, loved it.
It's a Tiny World, loved it.
Yeah, It's a Small World.
It's that one. All of the above. Loved Universal Studios.
Yeah.
We spent days...
What about though, but do you not find like the whole area as a whole is a bit pretend? Like the area
it's not selling you...
It's not giving...
It's not telling you a fib.
Right,
It's pretend, but you are not walking under the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
Not even remotely. You're not going to get the same feeling.
No.
So I feel they might be selling you a little bit of a... I mean, should we even be talking about this? I'm probably alienating.
No, we're going to get a court injunction from
we are probably going to...
Disney World.
Never mind the law of Leann. We're going to be in the law of Crafter's Companion. I feel it sells you something it can't deliver.
Yeah, I think
Whereas
so.
the
Did
rest
you go
of
on
Disney...
Did you go on the crash dummy ride when you were in Epcot? Because that was
absolutely
excellent.
not.
Oh, it was so good. Johnny, have you been to not been to Epcot? Oh, it was so good. The crash dummy was good. It was great.
Now, Joe, I need to ask you, do you think I need to do these again?
No.
Are they
No.
okay? They're
Absolutely
very
perfect.
different to the other ones on the other
I
card.
don't think different is bad though.
Okay, we'll leave them as they are then. We will take your expert advice on that. Okay, so we're going to stick this in place with my, what you call it? What's this? All-purpose glue.
Glue. Your favourite glue in the world.
It is my favourite glue in the world. And Mealy, though, made a coaster. So the good thing about all-purpose is a coaster. I put my glue in the wrong place.
Ah.
The card would have been stuck flat. So the good thing about all-purpose is if you do put your glue in the wrong place, you can rub it off.
Nice.
So a little bit of all-purpose glue down the long side. There's your fold. And then all-purpose glue all over the last small square. Okay? And then that goes on the front of your card here. And then gets closed up, voila, like that. And then when you've got it on the front of your card, close your card, and that shows the glue where to stick. So it's nice and straight. There we go, and then we just do our matting and layering. So I'm just going to use these pieces. If you wanted to redo those pieces, you could, with your butterflies. There we go, so that's going to go on there. And then these two are going to go inside. You can use a tape pen if you don't want to use your wet glue. So see what's happening there, it's curling up a little bit. That's because these cards are still damp.
Right,
so they
okay.
have to be fully dry before you
Right.
stick them down.
Lillian says, have you seen those lamps made out of pink Himalayan rock salt?
Yes.
I think I'd want to lick that too, she says.
I love that. And I do use pink.
Lillian just goes around licking everything by the sound of it.
I use pink Himalayan rock salt in my coupe. That's what I
Or
coupe
Himalayan, as Nigella calls it.
Himalayan. Is that like the microwave?
The microwave.
Himalayan salt. Well, Himalayan. I do like that, but I do like those lamps. I think they look fantastic. Okay,
They're meant to bring good energy, apparently, aren't they?
The lamps?
Yeah.
I need some energy. Definitely need some energy. Right, I'm going to use now, I do love that effect. I think it's so, I hope it's translating on the screen for you. I hope it looks as nice as it does in real life. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way for a second and grab my stamping. What am I like for time?
You've got about 12 minutes left.
Oh, we're going to have time.
Brilliant, that's always handy.
Now let's get a sentiment. Butterfly black, I'm going to have the kindness sentiment. And this little piece that I did earlier where I showed you the different technique, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on that so it's on a nice little watercoloured background. So I'm going to use black ink this time though for the sentiment rather than the pebble. That's straight. There we go. Stamp that on here. And this could have been on a scrap piece. It didn't have to be on the die cut piece. That was just me showing you how to do the different background. So this can just be a little scrap piece of card. Kindness changes everything.
Nice, lovely sentiment.
And then what you can do is you can randomly cut this or you can cut it nice and straight. So you can put it in your guillotine and cut yourself a lovely square sentiment, or if you want to freestyle it, you can freestyle it. I'm going to cut it nice and straight. So I'm going to do that there and there. And I'm not following any particular measurement for this, Joe. I am purely eyeballing it. And then what I do when I eyeball it is I end on a full measurement. So that is 2.5 wide now, and it is 1.25 deep, which means I can take a piece of black card and do 1.5 deep by, remind myself, 2 3/4 wide. And then I'll have the perfect mat to go with my sentiment. Okay? And then all I'm going to do is cut myself a couple of strips. So I'm just going to cut this in half. So this is 1.5 wide, which is going to be 1 1/8 1/8. It's not, it's going to be there. Let's do 1 inch wide and one more 1 inch. Okay, so I've got 2 1-inch strips, 2 little pieces there, which I'm going to show you what to do with. Move the guillotine out the way. Stick these together using all-purpose again because it is, in my opinion, the best glue in the world. I put everything together with. Have you seen, Joe? I'm interested for the viewers to let me know if they've seen the craft clinic I'm doing.
I have seen it, yeah, over on Crafters on social media.
Yes, and how are they feeling? What are they feeling about it? Do they like it? Would they like it to be different?
You let us know in the comments.
I'm interested to know. Right, I think this needs to be a bit thinner. I'm going to buy it. I'm iron it, Joe. I can't be bothered to get the guillotine out again. And then I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to do a random slice that way and a random slice that way, which you'll see what they're for in a second. So I've got those 2 little pieces like that. Onto my card base now, I'm going to use some foam tape just for evenness. Remember, when I talk to you about foam tape, what I always say is I put a tiny bit of tacky glue on the sticky side, like that. Cut the piece I need. And what this means is if this becomes an heirloom at a point in the future, like 10 years time, when somebody takes it out of the loft and says, wasn't that a lovely card that Leann made for me 10 years ago, it'll still all be intact.
Well, that'd be
because
good.
What happens with double-sided tape and foam tape is over time the adhesive dries out, and the things that have been made with it will fall apart.
Okay.
So if you put a little bit of your wet glue on there, the sticky from the foam pad where the wet glue wasn't holds it in place while you assemble, but then the wet glue forms a bond that doesn't fall apart over time.
Awesome.
Okay, so then I'm going to stick these on here, just as a little... some little tails.
A lot of love
hanging
coming in
down.
for it. Love the colours, says Hannah Law. Lillian says the salted water background looks very 3D. Stephanie loves the colours as well. Mary Beth says super classy and love the techniques. This card is amazing. And Sea Gods 8 says this has been like a masterclass today as well as a craft along. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I had that on upside down, Joe, so I've just moved it. I'm doing 2 more pieces. A little bit of wet glue here. The foam tape, it's really important. Pleased you've enjoyed it. Do you know, I really love the opportunity, Joe. I know I don't get the opportunity often because I'm locked in my little product development Harry Potter cupboard, planning all the new launches for, we're on to 2024 now.
2024?
Yeah, we're just finishing up 2023.
Wowzers, trousers.
And moving on to 2024. Why does that back? This is another reason why I don't use foam tape, Joe. Because it drives, I'm impatient.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my friend, I must say.
Oh, just, honestly, it doesn't like me. I can't get it. And I am envious of our craft guests.
Do you need a fresh pair of eyes? So you got it?
I've got it, thank you. I'm very envious of our craft guests who can just stick their nail under it and whip it straight off in one piece.
I think it knows, I think it smells fear, you know.
Do you reckon?
Foam tape does, yeah, and foam pads. If you just go in with a pokey tool with absolute confidence, they whip off straight away. I think it's a moment of hesitation and it knows.
And well, definitely what's happened with me then. So now I've got kindness changes everything, and those little black tails just create that kind of little scroll effect on the sentiment. And if you don't like them overlapping your butterfly, you've done freehand cutting on this, so you can at this point just then decide where you want them. And that's sometimes quite nice because you can customize it to your project, so you can snip it off a little bit more if you want to, and random is best. You don't need it to be nice and even. So there we go, kindness changes everything. That's the front of the card. Now we just need to assemble the topper. And so we're going to use 3D glue gel again. Am I okay for time, Joe?
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes left.
Wow.
Perfect timing. Melanie D says it's been an autumn. An autumn? What's autumn? awesome craft along.
An awesome craft along.
Not an often craft along.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So Carol Ann's loving the clinic posts.
Good.
Rhonda says, a baby album I'm working on right now is being put together with the all-purpose glue, and I've already used one whole bottle. My oh my, Rhonda, how big is this baby album? Are you doing an album for every baby in the, like, on the ward? It must be huge.
The thing is, you can when you're doing your mats and layers, you can get through it. A little bit goes a long way, but the thing with that baby album is when whoever that baby is goes to open that up on their 18th, 21st, 50th birthday, it will still look and be as pristinely assembled as the day that was gifted. And that's the important thing for me, Joe. It's, you know, when I'm making something for somebody, I'm not making something that I think is going to be taken from the mantelpiece and put in the bin 2 days after the birthday. Yes. It's an heirloom. It's something I put my time, care, attention, love into. So I think it's something that deserves to be kept. And if you're going to make something for somebody that deserves to be kept, then it deserves to be with the best ingredients and adhered to the point where it's going to last. So you can go back and look at it. That's just what I think. So I've assembled my topper. I've got a little bit of foam tape on there with my all-purpose glue. That goes over the top there. And we are finished. There we go. So we've got that lovely topper with the butterfly. Open it up and we can see that kindness changes everything. And you've got all of your different techniques on there. You've got your salt background, you've got your self-stamping and spritzing, you've got your colouring with sparkle marker, your splatter technique, your paper bag technique, and then all decoupaged and assembled together in a Z-fold card.
Brilliant. Absolutely loved it, Leanne. It was amazing.
Thank you.
When are you back with us on Crafty TV? Is it a couple of weeks?
It's a couple of weeks' time. I think it's with yourself, Joe. Yeah, a couple of weeks ready for all of the birthday celebrations.
I want to say Tuesday the 18th.
I think it is, because it was the day before my brother's birthday, and that's the 19th. So yes,
there you
Tuesday
are.
the 18th.
Tuesday the 18th, we'll see Leanne back on our screens. Thank you so much, Leanne. Right, we are going to take a quick break because, of course, Jamie is here with all things creative expressions, and he will be up on the other side of this.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
One that was really funny, Ben. You didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, you know, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Joe's laughing. Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Oh, Joe, don't... Words, but I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong.
Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
Went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami.
I've got some...
Oh, it's not on your project, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, thanks so much to Leann there for that amazing craft along. It was awesome. It really, really was. Now, we have a whole hour coming up, of course, of creative expressions, and Jamie is back with us in the studio. You look like you've grown a bit for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. How are you?
I've gained a little platform and I quite like it. Yeah, can we keep this?
It's been ages since I've seen you. You've been keeping well?
Yes, thank you. Yourself?
Yes, very, very well. Thank you. I know you had a show earlier today. It was very, very busy, wasn't it? What can we expect though, Jamie, from the next hour or so?
We will bring in more ideas with my pierced collection, and we'll have more ideas with Sue Wilson's Slimline Christmas collection too. So hopefully lots to inspire you.
And I've seen some sparkly bits as well hanging around in the studio, which I'm excited for. Let's dive in then and quickly share with you the collections that we are bringing you today. This one, firstly, is your pierced collection. So is this new then, Jamie? I haven't seen this one before.
Yes, it is. Yeah, these come out only a couple of months ago now. Wow. It's all a bit of a blur, really. But yeah, this is my new Christmas collection, inspired by the idea of piercing through stencils like we used to do many years ago.
Right.
So as the dies go through, not only will they cut for you, they will also emboss, and they will also pierce all of them little fine details for you.
Brilliant, and I love the fact that it's going to cut the matte layer for you as well, though, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so there's 2 dies in each one. So
Brilliant.
What that basically means is that the main focal die doesn't have a blade running around the edge of it. So if you would like to cut that and leave that in the front of your cardstock like we're going to do in my first demo, it means it can create an aperture for you. Amazing. Or if you'd like to use the included die, you can cut it out.
There's everything you're getting then in the collection. They are gorgeous. I've got some samples to share with you. You're going to hate me, Jamie, because I went across and just picked up like 2 off the top of every pile.
We bring you hundreds.
Okay, so I couldn't really see which belonged to what, so I thought, oh gosh, I'm definitely going to mix these up. But look at how stunning. They are white on white. I know tone on tone is something you absolutely love, isn't it?
I do, yeah, and that one just added in a few details actually onto the cut with a silver gel pen. And then what you'll notice with these, and actually something we never mentioned this morning, the background panel that you've got there, the Christmas roses, the poinsettias and bits that are in there are the same as the loose ones. So that card actually perfectly shows you how, if you want to layer them up, you can bring in the separates and layer them on top, and it saves you cutting them out separately.
Perfect. Who doesn't love a bauble? Is that stuck there, Jamie? I don't want to ruin it. There we go. Who doesn't love baubles? Look at that. So much great detail in there.
So again, just a quickie glue pen and some gilding flakes on that one, to be honest, to infill your colour.
Then another one here with the baubles. Mirror card, these just, I guess they're stunning with mirror card. It's that piercing detail, isn't it?
This is such an easy card to do. I'm all about thinking for people who are batch making or people who are making to sell, which you can absolutely do with these products as well. If you want to make loads of them and sell them, it's going to take you a few minutes to make that card, because it's literally one big cut done through your machine and then a couple of mats and layers. So a really easy one to do.
Really cool. And then we move into this one here. The little housing. It's got a bit of a Kincaid feel to it.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
Yeah,
I like that. I love Thomas Kincaid's work. So yeah, that's a lovely compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, really, really lovely. And I guess what I love about this one, you can go really quite colourful and funky with this one, can't you? You can make it quite playful if you wanted to.
Exactly. So this one is done by one of our design team. I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you it's Sheila. Tells you on the back, Craig.
It is Diane.
Diane. Do you know, every time I do a show, I get them to round the wrong way. I can't get it right. But I love the way she's so playful with colour, and you can see with this one how even the little sentiments can make a lovely frame.
Yeah, really, really gorgeous. We've got that one there as well. Moving into the florals. This snowflake is massive, isn't it?
It is a big snowflake.
I've been called a big snowflake recently, quite a few times.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'd take that as a compliment. I've been called worse. That card is to show you how you can snip out the layers. So that is the middle from the large panel.
Oh, wow.
So again, if you want to break it down, I know I like making big cards. Certain parts of the world prefer smaller cards, obviously, for postage costs. This is one of them dies you can trim about to make it smaller if you want to.
And it really does decoupage up beautifully, doesn't it? So that is all the different options you'll get. That's everything you're getting in there. Then $78.99 or $114.49. A fifth went just in our earlier airing, so it's very, very busy. on that particular one there. We're going to look next at the sentiments, which are going to go perfectly with this. These are the ones that you're going to get here. I love the fact that you're getting the plaque as well as the actual sentiment itself. Let It Snow. This one here is Merry Christmas. We've also got Season's Greetings there. That one there says Jolly Holidays. Does it say Jolly Holidays?
Joyful tidings.
So,
reading upside down isn't good, is it? I do feel for you, sorry.
I should just look what it says on the back. Festive wishes. You've got it's written right on the back there. Yeah, James, very well organised.
The nice bit with these is a lot of the words and the backing plates are interchangeable, so it doesn't work all the way across the board. But to a large extent, if you do want to interchange them, you can. And of course, with your backing plates, you could then stamp on them or add your own sentiments to them for other seasons throughout the year.
Brilliant, absolutely love that. We're going to move on. So if you want to go for those, they're going to work perfectly with that collection. A third gone there, but they are going to go before the collection does it itself. So if you want to be able to ensure you're going to get those those sentiments, then absolutely do be quick for those. We're going to move on to these now. These from Sue Wilson. Sue Wilson, obviously a very talented designer for anyone that's not familiar with her. She does lots of awesome dies.
She's absolutely an incredible designer. She does dies, she does stamps, paper pads, stencils, the list goes on. I believe her tally at the moment is up to 1,500 different die designs.
Wow.
That are currently in production. So yeah, there's an awful lot of a catalogue there, but these are her Christmas slimline collection. We've done a couple of slimline collections previously that I believe we've brought you in different stages. These are the Christmas ones. Although we're calling them Christmas, as you can see by this loopy design, there's nothing festive about that.
No.
So you could certainly use it all the year through.
Yeah.
That loopy design and the next one as well that Joe's got, we've also done previous dies with those designs on them.
Okay.
So I mention this because I think that's quite nice. If you've got the matching squares, which Sue's already bought out, and you want to put these on there, maybe make your triptych cards with them, they're going to fit, it's going to work together.
Yeah, it's really lovely to have a continuation of something you've loved, isn't it? These are cool. I love this die. I think it's such a clever idea. This is a shadow box die that she's done.
Yeah, this one again, one of my favourites. I go back to this time and time again, and the board there is showing you how actually the die has a separate cut blade to this, so it means that the box part of it will stay in your card.
Right.
So maybe if you wanted to alternate them up and down, you could do to make bigger panels. It doesn't have to stay as you see it, and then you've got the outside die, whether you'd like to cut a backing plate or you'd like to cut round it.
Really cool, that one. Then we've also got this one here, which is the Starburst. Again, not particularly festive. You can make it festive for sure, this one, if you wanted to.
Absolutely. To me, and it's a shame we haven't bought it today, but we did bring it on the show earlier in the year. Sue does an angel, a limited edition angel every year. And I think that the angels go perfectly with this one. I think a couple of Sue samples may have the angels on there. So if you do want to festive it up, very easy to do so.
Really easy. This one, pretty festive, the Holly Swirls. Which is great. I can see you definitely using elements of that, not necessarily having to use the whole thing.
I love this one. Genuinely, this is my favourite die, probably of the year, I think I could go out and say. Yeah, I love it. I've used this so many times. As you say, you're very right, Joe. Ever so easy to snip out and use as it is, or if you want to just cut little bits to put in with your poinsettias and pieces, absolutely. So value for money wise, very good die to have.
Really cool, that one. Then we've also got a couple of others. We've got the this one here, which is your Christmas embellishments. You've got those ones. You're also going to get this Christmas set of Christmas embellishments, and you get these as well, the festive panels, which is cool, quite a nice way of doing it, the positive and the negative.
And all of them pieces from them 3 sets should fit inside your shadow boxes.
Perfect.
So they're the bits to decorate to make it
Let me
festive.
show you some of the samples then that we've got here on these, because they are beautiful. They really, really are. You can tell the design team have loved putting these together. Here's that one I just showed you. This is great. I don't know what it is. It's like, it reminds me of like department store window. I think that's what it's like
a good
for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's got that sort of feeling to it. And then we've got this one here as well with the baubles, which is just beautiful. Those nesting dies with the loops on, they just give it something completely different, don't they? It's
Very
so tactile
elegant
with those on. Yeah.
Very elegant. Looks very professional. Very ornate die.
This one here, then of course we've got again with those pierced nesting dies, which are beautiful. Loving all the cream on these too. It's really lovely colour.
Sue loves her coconut white, which is one of our colours, and this puts it to test really. You can see it for all of her cards.
Yeah, really, really lovely. Just beautiful. Again, really elegant. And I think these sort of slimline style cards have become extremely popular, haven't they, in the last sort of couple of years?
I think for a lot of places they're a little less expensive, shall we say, to post, and I think that makes them a very attractive option.
Look at that one. What a wow that one is.
That's one of mine, and it's so easy because it's literally just Aurora
really
flakes.
Cool.
So I've cut the die out, I've put a sticky self-adhesive sheet behind it, and then put Aurora flakes through the top of it, which are a type of gilding flakes. I know you've got your own, so any of those sort of style of products, but very simple to do.
It's amazing. It's the sort of card that my very glamorous auntie would have given us at Christmas.
Oh,
it's got that vibe to it.
very nice.
Yeah. We wouldn't have seen her very often. She just chain smoking, drinking coffee all the time. And she'd come around with some fabulous cards, and this would be one of them. That'd be it.
I like
with
that.
a really expensive designer handbag, probably, I'd imagine.
I'm getting Dorian Green feelings here.
Sorry? Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. So that's that one. I shan't name names just in case, I'll get in trouble. Then again, the one that you showed there, that is really beautiful, isn't it?
Again, so this one is one of the black ones. This is done by Sue. She's just put it onto a self-adhesive sheet, put the gilding flakes over the top of it, and then framed it with a piece of acetate on front, so it looks like a proper frame.
Really, really lovely. Again, there. How have you created that then? 'Cause
This
it
is
looks
one
like
of-
you've used it as an embossing folder.
This is one of my little tricks that I've been doing
Right.
a lot of recently, and it doesn't sound clever, but it's basically putting too much into your machine so it doesn't quite cut through it. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. I tend to stack two pieces of mirror card together when I do my cut, and it will cut perfectly through the first one because the dies are brilliant.
And then that's
but
what
the
you get
second
underneath.
one, it engraves into it. So I call it my engraving technique.
I love that. That's
you
really cool. I've
can-
not heard about that being
you
done
can-
before.
You can do it in the same sort of sense of just putting a self-adhesive sheet over the back of it when your die has gone through, if you prefer.
Yeah.
It's basically just keeping all the bits that would normally come away or fall out in place, so it looks like it's engraved.
It's amazing. Really, really cool. That's really lovely as well, that one there.
Thank you. It's another one of my
Is
ones.
that another one of yours?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
just pixie powders to colour the little rectangles and squares, and then using the pieces from Sue's collections to place in them.
Yeah, lots of really lovely shine and lustre in there. And then lots of this white on white, which I think is just really, really classy. 103.49, 149.99 if you want to get those. 82.79 or 119.99 if you are a platinum member. Do you know how I feel about anything shiny, don't you? Well, we have got the glitter jewels on the show. These look really cool, Jamie. Where do these sit alongside? Because I know there's sort of lots of styles that this sort of style of product
Do you
that
actually-
Creative Expressions bring to us.
Shall I show you them so you
Yes,
can see
please.
them?
Why
We
don't we
didn't
have a quick
actually
look at them?
show
That'd
them
be great.
earlier, did we? Let me just unscrew the tops of these. So we have got iced crystal. Now, if you have a little look in here, I don't know how well you're going to see that, but you can see all of these little flakes in here, and these are perfect for giving that true snow style to your card. They're just really sort of Aurora Borealis style crystal
I'm glad you said
shimmer.
that because I can't really say that word, Jamie.
Yeah, that was an attempt on my behalf. We were just going to go for that and hope. But you've got sort of all these little shards in that one. So that one, of course, was now let me get the names of these right. That one was iced crystal. If we move on to diamond sprinkle, this one is more like fine, like pieces of tinsel maybe. I don't know how well you can see them on my finger.
I thought they were three of the same when I saw them
Yeah,
last night. I didn't realise they were different.
Pictures are a bit tricky sometimes, aren't they? But these really are like more like little lines of glitz. So you've got crystal ones in there. You've got like a little silver shimmer as well, but lots of full-on sparkle. And then actually, let's leave that one off so you can see the difference between them, because you've got more crushed snow, more crushed tinsel to me.
Right.
And then the third one, I really love this one. This is the iced snow, and these are more like pieces of large flakes of glitter really, but with a very reflective finish to them.
Nice.
And they're quite large chunks, and I find that with this one I'll put them down and then I'll on a self-adhesive sheet and I'll infill with another colour of glitter, so that in between all the pieces of this you get a nice colour come through it, and that works really well.
Yeah, really, really cool. So many different ways of using those. I imagine 12.15 or 17.62 if you want to get your hand on them. Love that they're all sort of slightly different. We've also got the glitter bits, which sounds a bit funny. I don't know why, but it does. Makes me laugh. I'm not quite sure why. Glitter bits. These are those 12.15 or 17.62. Jamie's going to show us his glitter bits, I believe.
I am. So these are your three different colours. We have got the green, we have got the gold, and we have got the red. Now with these, in each jar you get 3 different sized particles of glitter. So if I try and hook these out and spread it out slightly, you might see it. But what that basically means is because you've got the different size particles, the light is going to hit it at every angle. So to me, it's the most sparkliest glitter I think I've ever seen, because it's not just all at one level. So you're not just getting that glitter or that light playing with it in one place. It's going to hit it, it's going to sparkle in every area.
Yeah, they are. They almost look like they're liquid, don't they? They're so sparkly and shiny. It's really amazing. If you want to go for those, as many of you have already today, $12.15 or $17.62 is your price there, at a platinum price of $9.72 or $14.10. Any questions you've got about anything Creative Expressions, you want to get them into Jamie, fire them over to me, Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are over on YouTube, and I will fire them across to Jamie on your behalf. But where do you fancy kicking off then for this hour, Jamie?
So I thought we would start off with my piecing collection, and we're going to go for this one, our lovely cottage design.
Nice.
And this is a very easy card to do, nothing complicated. And if you ever want to make them like little boxes with the light up candles, we're going to be working on vellum for the inside of our card. So the second you was to put one of them little light up candles behind there, that would help shine through and light that up if that's something you'd like to do. So although it's a card, hopefully this idea will give you lots of options. So when we talk about the dies, if I bring that in again, we have our lovely die here. Now, as I mentioned, there is no outside cutting blade around all of the design. There's a blade that's going to cut a line across the top here. That's going to cut out your night sky, so that sits as an open area. But the rest of it will actually stay in your card, and I'll show you that in just a second. In with that, we have an outside cutting blade. So this comes in the packet with it. So if you do wish to use it and cut it out as a separate item, you absolutely can do. One of the bits that I like and why I design them so they have the two separate ideas or two separate ways of using them is also because it means you've got freedom to bring in your nesting dies. So this isn't one we've brought you on today's show, it's just one of Sue's that I've got sort of at hand, but it absolutely means that you can create more freedom with your designs, more unique ways. So like we mentioned earlier, with the loopy design of squares also matches in with a slimline. Maybe you'd like to make a trio or a sort of a multi-fold card, use the slimline panels on one area and then sort of give that connection to the inside panels by matching up the outside edges. So it gives you that ability to do that if you'd like to.
Brilliant.
So let's cut this to begin with. So I've brought in an 8x8 card and we're going to just put this into the machine. I don't need this one, to be honest with you, so it's not the end of the world if it's not quite right, but I could have got out my tape ready, couldn't I? But we're going to wing it. We're going to wing and hope. We'll go somewhere about there and see where it ends up. But it's just nice for you to see how we can cut them, really. As I say, don't actually need this one. So we'll send this through our machine and that will cut into the front of our cardstock for us. Now, as I mentioned, this could be any size card that you would like it to be. Obviously, it's going to fit within it. I've gone for an 8x8 scalloped card. These are ones that I've just got out of a packet. It's not something I've created. When I tend to use scalloped cards, people tend to ask me if I die cut the card out already. It isn't, it's just one that's on there. So when we cut that, we can then remove our die. And we can see then that we have created our window.
Now, beautifully, isn't it?
All of these pieces will go ahead and fall out for us so that we have our card in place. And we have that staying actually in the cardstock, which is great because it means it gives us more options. So we'll get rid of this one because we don't need that one. And we're going to go ahead to one I've already done. And I've cheated with my one already a little bit. I've already stuck some gems on it and it's ready for decorating. So we're going to turn this over and we're going to bring in a square of vellum. Now the vellum has already been cut out, so it's the right size. And we're going to use our dry as clear glue. And we're just going to trace around a few of these areas. Just infilling with some glue. We want it to have quite a nice layer down on this one. Now the door is actually cut to open. So we're going to come back and open the door shortly. So we don't want to put any glue on there. We'll add some onto the reindeers at the top up here. Add some onto Santa. Now this die again is quite easy to trim. So if you just want to use Santa on his own, for instance, that's going to come out quite nicely. Or if you'd like to layer on the front of it all your different pieces, there is a card I might try and demo today actually, where I've sort of layered up using several layers. So we'll place that
Lovely
down.
to see vellum used as well, because I know a lot of our customers love buying vellums and then sometimes not wholly sure what they're going to do with it once they get it home.
It's sometimes one of them products that you just sort of put in your stash and never really use, and I'm guilty of that too. But it is one I really like, especially I love making them little light up candle boxes I spoke about, and it's just one I go to time and time for get them style of effects. So what I'm going to do now is I'm using Graphmaster alcohol pens, but I know it's very rude actually because I'm in the home of alcohol markers, aren't I? So I haven't yet got any. I need to start collecting my Spectrum Noir ones.
Just steal some off the side. No one
Do you know,
knows.
it's very tempting. There's this beautiful display
just put those
to
in
the
your man
side
bag
of me.
because we'll just play Debbie Robinson. Everyone
Yeah.
says Debbie probably took them or something. It's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
I do it with loads of stuff.
If I can blame somebody else and get away with this, we'll go for it.
That's
I
what
like
I built
that
a career
idea.
on, Jamie, so why not?
So I'm being careful not to go over my moon, but all I'm doing is just bringing the colour down and popping it straight onto the back of the vellum. So we've got the blue going in there obviously for the night sky. We can then bring in some trees with a green, but any brand, honestly, of your pens is fine. It doesn't even have to be alcohol markers. These are just ones that I find are very quick to work with. And if you're thinking, well, this looks very messy on the inside of my card, cut another one, place it over the back of it so you hide it. I'm not going to do that today for speed, but you can absolutely do that if that's something you would like to do. And it's nice to cover your work in sometimes, isn't it?
I guess it doesn't matter if it's your colouring's not completely even either, because the vellum's going to sort of make it quite sympathetic, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you can see, I'm not spending any time on this. It's just a quick sort of slapdash colouring. So we'll add on a bit over the top there as well. And then the little side of the roof this side. And then we need to bring in some yellow. The lights have got to be on in our cottage, haven't they? Somebody's got to be home waiting for Father Christmas to bring some presents. And then there's a few little stars up in the sky, so we'll colour them in. Just missed a slight bit on the roof here, so we'll go back and add that in. And then we'll leave our moon clear. And when we flip this over, as we can see, all our colouring is done for us in all the right places. So that is perfectly ready to then start layering up and doing more with. Now I'm going to bring in, oh, here's my pokey tool. Gone and lost it. Let's see if we can get that door open, shall we? I could have started on that. There we go. So let's open our little door up as well. And if we want to, let's flip that over, because I never added any colour in there, did I? So I'll have a little bit of colour going in on the door as well. But this is quite a nice one to put a little Christmas tree being delivered coming out of it, or little presents sort of half in or out the door, or bits like that if you would like to. We're then going to bring in one of our frames. Now I know this is the square frame, but hopefully it will give you an idea of just different ways you can use your different layering frames. So we're going to add some glue onto the reverse of this. And we can bring that in, and we're just going to frame our cut. So we'll place that down round this one. And it just grounds the picture slightly. And then from here, we can bring in our lovely glitter jewels. So what one shall we go for? Let's go for this diamond sprinkle, shall we? Okay. Let's have a sparkly moon. So we're going to bring in our glue. We're going to place that down into the moon. You
so
could
there
use
was some. So Clarice said about the glitter pots. Do they do the glitter pots air dry? How do you actually apply them to the cardstock? Was her question.
The glitter is just like a dry powder as such. So you can use them like I am right now with just wet glue. You could use them with a quickie glue pen if you would like a finer application of them. My glue directly from the bottle is going to be quite textural because it's quite a thick BVA glue, where you could use a quickie glue pen and place them on. Self-adhesive sheets are amazing. So a self-adhesive sheet, if you're not familiar with that, is basically like an A4 sheet version of double-sided tape. Double-sided tape is another good one. Foam tape is really handy. I'll show you that in a second if I can find my foam tape. I should have some here somewhere. Let's sprinkle these on. So we'll put these over the top here, top of the mountains, and across our moon, and then across our sleigh and reindeer. Now, if I was at home, I'd let that settle for just a minute because I've gone for quite a wet glue, so it might travel slightly, but we'll tap off the excess. No, that's fine. We've got our sparkle in place. So yeah, they're sort of some of the ways I would use them. Let's see if I got some foam tape over here. Where did I put my foam tape today? I'm like a travelling circus, Joe. When I come up here, I am.
In what respect? You've not got like a, you know, you've not got sort of a menagerie of animals outside in the car, have you?
No, thankfully not. No animals today. No. So let's show you this. So just a piece of card, some foam tape over the top. Where have we hid my scissors? We won't try and rip it. Take that one off. I love doing this, especially for like stoppers. If you're making easel cards, this can work really nicely. And then just take your glitters and add them over the top, and all of a sudden you have got a sparkly stopper that's ready to work with. And I know that's a really simple idea, but if it's not one you've thought of before with your foam tape, it can really make nice pretty frames or stopper elements, or just decorations. And you could do that with any of the glitters that we've brought you today, obviously, or any glitters in fairness. But these ones have got quite a nice textural finish, and you can see the white come through from under the foam tape, which is quite pretty. Another one I do as well, which is not sort of goes against the grain of putting it in as a dry format, is mixing them into texture pastes. I buy quite a lot of our like clear texture paste, so like my glossy glaze texture paste.
I always wonder with like texture paste or with gessos and stuff, does it affect them drying or curing or anything like that if you're putting these sorts of products
Not through my experience, but then I am somebody who will just sort of do these things and leave them to one side for an hour and then come back. I'm never really working on one card, I'm always making 5 at once. So I tend to do them in stages and leave bits everywhere until they're dry and then come back to them. So I never really worry too much about dry times. I also have like a little, like a letter rack that I will put all of my cards on as they're sort of drying just beside me. And it's literally like a paper rack that you would get out of a stationer's. And as each one's drying, I also have little like baking trays that if they're really wet, I'll do it on a baking tray and then stash it in the levels and let it dry and then bring that part out for that project and carry on with. But no, it shouldn't affect it too much.
All right, excellent. Always good to know.
And then there we go. There's
Really
your card
cool.
complete. Very quick, very
Absolutely
simple.
gorgeous. Really, really lovely. Let me just quickly share with you again then what you're getting in that particular collection. A really lovely project that. So this one here is your Christmas roses, as you can see just there. You've then got the bauble diamonds. You've got Christmas cottage. This one here is the snowflake mandala. And then you've got these lovely embellishments included in there as well. $78.99 or $114.49 is your price there on that. We do have the sentiments as well, which will go alongside these. Almost 40% gone here. I think these will definitely not last a day. And so you've got Let It Snow. You've also got Merry Christmas there. This one here is your Season's Greetings. That's Joyful Tidings. And then you've got Festive Wishes there too. $19.95 or $28.92 if you want to grab a hold of those. We're going to go on to the slim line. So I'll just show you a few more of the samples before we get into the boards, because there are so many gorgeous samples that have been done. I think with these, James, as well, no matter what kind of style of card you love or what sort of theme you're aiming for, I think these are going to work so beautifully behind so many different styles of project, don't you?
To me, they're a foundation. Everything builds up from your foundations, doesn't it? So, you know, if you've got your foundations right, you can build easily and you can bring in your flavour, your style, your colour scheme, your occasion. And to me, these just fit every occasion, reason and theme I could think of, to be honest.
Yeah, they are so versatile, these ones. This one here is as well, again, that panel die that we looked at, which was beautiful. Love that. Has that been paper? Is that another one of yours, Shane?
No, this one's on a Sue's, and there's a secondary card. Craig couldn't find it earlier, bless him. I've put them together somewhere, and then that's gone out of sync. But there's a second card to this one, and it shows the way...
Second part?
Yeah, Sue has cut one card.
I've mixed all the samples
Oh, it's all right, don't worry. I'll try and find them before the 7 o'clock show.
I'm going to get it. Stay there.
But there's a secondary card where it shows... just wouldn't float in midair, would it?
I think Charlotte thought I was Stretch Armstrong. I was going to stay on here. I ain't go over there. So is that the second part to it?
That is the second part.
Brilliant.
Well done, Jay. So this one shows you the cutout, actually using the die, and then the one in Joe's hands currently, this is showing you all of the waste elements as such, being paper pieced back. So when Sue's made her first card, she's actually made 3 or 4 out of all of the bits, so nothing's wasted.
Really cool, and I love this one. I think, is this alcohol inks that have been used on this one?
I think that one is actually pixie powders on glossy card, maybe.
Really? It looks like alcohol inks on Youplo paper.
It could be. Sue's gone off on a bit of a tangent, and she's doing this incredible technique where she's using pixie powders on glossy card, and it baffles me which one's which. They're very close, and they give you this lovely sort of glisten to them like alcohol inks do.
Right,
so from here, I'm going to guess it's one or the other.
Nice. This one here is another one there with the your favourite die on there.
It is, yeah. This one is done by me. This is cut out of antique copper card. It's coloured in with alcohol markers for the green and the red for the holly and the berries. And then I've put it onto a self-adhesive sheet. I've used some gold pixie powder through it to give that really dark tone. And the glitter is the glitter that we have on today's show, just sprinkled in sparingly across the top of it.
Brilliant, love that. And then this one here, of course, I'm like I said earlier, just snipping out a little piece of it. I wouldn't have thought about using it on that angle though, but it works very well.
because of the die stays in your card, as in your cardstock, if you don't use the outside die, you could do this in any angle or shape or style you want to, or marry them up and do multiple of them. So a diagonal's fine to do with them.
Brilliant. Absolutely loving that. Right. Next, let me just quickly run through then what you're getting in here. So you'll get the looped rectangles, 4 dies there. You're also getting the cut corner rectangles, 5 dies in that one. The shadow box here. Then you've got the starbursts, the holly swirls. Then you've got 2 sets of the embellishments in it. It's a big collection, this one. And then you've got some sentiments in there as well. 103.49 or 149.99 is your price. Definitely snap that up. I believe this is what we're going to have a look at next, Jamie.
So what we're going to do next is we're going to use one of our shadow boxes, and we're going to use that holly panel as well, because although the holly panel is obviously designed to use on its own, and the shadow box you would tend to think you're going to use that on its own and infill it with all the small components, there's no reason why we can't bring both of them together, and that's what we're going to do for this card. So we're going to start off by actually cutting our lovely shadow box. Now our shadow box again is one of the dies that Sue has designed where we have the separate outer edge. So a bit like I show you with the piercing dies, that means this one doesn't have an outside blade to it attached, but in the packet you've got that separate one. So if you do want to cut it out, you can do, or again we can bring it in and we can use it with something like the looped ones which we've got for you today. So you've got that little more sort of dramatic edge to it, and again you can play around with where you want to place it. You know, you might not want it to be perfectly in the centre, you might want more of a gap at the bottom for your expressions, bits like that, so you can play around where you place that. So let's bring these 2 bits in and cut out one of our shadow frames. So we're going to use the inside blade or the inside die, and we're going to use the outside one, and we're going to use a piece of coconut white card. I'm going to place this on the top and we're going to send this through so that it cuts. Now this die is one that I have really used an awful lot. We recently bought out a Halloween collection as well. So I used this for the Halloween collection and put all different like bats and spiders and bits inside the shadow box. So really do look at this and think of it as more than just Christmas. We've recently released a birthday collection and you could put little cakes and candles and bits in each of these boxes instead if you prefer. So what we're going to try and do, if we can, is we're going to leave this on the die. And I'll show you why, if we can keep it there. This one's a bit more tricky to do that with. But I'm going to show you a tip for gluing multiples together, if I can keep it on the die. So when might stay there. When I build up my frames, I quite like them to have more depth to them than just one layer. So I've already gone ahead and I've cut 3 of these. And I'm going to bring in some glue and we're just going to trace a few lines around this. We don't need to do all of it, but we're going to do a few bits on here. And we're going to layer them together. And if you've got your die cut still on your blade, on your actual die, when you come to layer the next one on top and you push down on it, you will find that the blade inside the die is deeper than your card. So it will help you marry it up. And I find this is a trick that I do a lot with words, because the words can be quite tricky to line up. But if you just place it down on the die, the walls of the die cut will actually help you line them in place.
Great tip. I've never seen that done before.
So we'll bring in the next one as well. We'll place that down on there if we can. It's usually trickier to put them down, so pre-cutting doesn't always work. It's better if you've cut them and then you use them while they're in the die. But we'll give it a whirl. And then we're going to go for another one as well. And we'll add some glue onto this one too.
A lot of questions people are asking about certain elements of all the collections. Everything from all the collections is available individually over on the website. So go hit the Shop the Day button or the Shop the Show button and you will see all, I think it's under the Shop the Day button, you'll see all of the individual elements. If you want to pick and choose your collections, absolutely you are more than welcome to do that.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to add more glue going all the way around our frame. And then we're going to bring in our holly panel. So I want this to really anchor down onto the holly. So we're going to go all the way around it. And then we're going to bring in the holly panel, which I've already cut. And we're going to go for the bottom being the big cube and the top being the smaller pieces. And we're going to let that fit down on top there. Then we can go in and pick up all of these loose sort of pieces and push them against the backs. So that's nice and in place. And I quite like that, the way that sort of frames it, and it sort of makes you focal in on smaller pieces instead of just looking at it all in one area, doesn't it? Because we've sort of divided it up. And then from here, I'm going to bring in my glue. And I did this earlier, but just in case you missed the earlier show, I'm going to use our wet glue once again. Instead of using a glue pen to adhere our glitter on with, I'm going to use a wet glue. This one's a PVA, it's our Dries Clear Cosmic Shimmer Glue, because it will stay as more of a dome and it won't dry as flat as something like a quickie glue pen would do, or if we applied it with an ultrafine bottle, which of course you can, but it's more about trying to get that depth to the actual holly or their berries pieces. And we're going to bring in the golden sand of our glitter bits and we're going to sprinkle this over the top so that we end up with some nice golden berries. I'll tap that bit off there and that will give you just a small idea of what we're aiming for, actually, if we look at it on there. But I've got one I've done all of this for already, and we'll jump to that one so you can see it complete without having to watch me dot lots of berries. So this is our completed one. Now let's bring in our components and layer up our card. So we're going to go for a cream card this time. We're then going to come in with some gold pearl. And we're going to place that down on top here. From there, we're going to bring in our loopy rectangles, which again is one of our die sets that we've got on today's show.
Yeah, so versatile these. Lots of you going for those individually as well as in that big collection. They are really cool.
Place that one down. And then we're going to go straight on with our holly panel. So for speed, we'll just do a few dabs of glue on this. Just go around the edges slightly. I do love a Dries Clear glue because I'm the messiest and gluist in the world, I think.
Gluist?
So, gluist.
That's someone's actual full-time job, Jamie. Full-time gluist. Can you imagine?
Gluist experimentist. Well, but that sounds a bit Harry Potterish, doesn't it, really? Yeah. And then on top of that, we're going to bring in our little word piece, which is, of course, cut from our tabs that we've got on today's show, these little banner parts of the wording. And I've just backed it with another piece of gold so that you've got the gold showing through underneath there as well. And that completes the card.
Absolutely gorgeous. Another really, really beautiful creation. Let me just recap what exactly is in that collection there then for you. That one there is your looped rectangles. You then have, this one here is the cut corner. That one there is a shadow box. You've also got the starbursts, the holly swirls, and then you've got your different embellishments in there as well, as you can see. And of course, you've then got those sentiments too. $103.49, $149.99. It's really busy. I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out your baskets. We'll squeeze another demo in with Jamie on the other side of this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those 3 people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
We do create every day, sometimes even cards, Jamie. Mayhem, pandemonium, hilarity, infectious laughter.
They're all good things to create.
Yeah, lawsuits sometimes, and sometimes we make cards. I'm just going to quickly go back. We're going to go and have a little look back through these. It is the Pierced Craft 5-piece die collection. It is amazing. You've got the Christmas roses, the bauble diamonds. This one is your Christmas cottage. You will also receive the snowflake mandala, and then you've got your accessories in there as well. What's the process like when you design a collection like this?
Long.
How would you start? Would you start with
Long.
Is it all done digitally, or is there sketches?
No, I can't. I never lie because I can't pretend. And if anyone follows me or knows me, they know I am shocking with technology.
Oh, okay.
We was talking to Craig this morning after the show about TikTok. I was like, I've got no idea what that is, how it works. I haven't got it.
Yeah.
I know nothing. I'm not down with the kids.
Right.
So I'm very lucky. Basically, I get to sit and doodle and
Yeah.
turn all of my ideas into sort of sketches.
Perfect.
And then we have a very talented team who interprets that random
Oh,
doodle
amazing.
into exactly what I want it to be.
Oh,
and
I
then
love that.
Then we start the process of testing. So these took about 18 months to design, test and bring to market. So it's not a quick idea, it really does take quite a while behind the scenes for us to get them from my head down onto paper and then transformed into a design and then tested and done. And sometimes we're very fastidious about if they are exactly what we want them to be and if they work. And it's not only me, as a team, we test them, put them through their paces. If everyone signs off on them, then they get created, and that's when we bring them to market.
Like with the dies, they're mechanical, so I guess sometimes they look great, but then actually the die cut piece that you got out doesn't work in the same way that you imagined it might, based on where the cuts were.
Every brand must go through the same things, but sometimes the release holes aren't quite in the right places, or something might pinch a little too much when it comes out. So there might be a problem there, or maybe you just get it and you think, well, actually that looked a lot better in a sketch format than it does in a die format. So that's when we go back to the beginning. So yeah, I'm sure I'm talking for most of sort of designers and die manufacturers, but that's sort of the process that we try to follow and get them so they're right. But we won't release it until we're 100% happy with it. And if that takes time, that takes time.
Yeah, well, they are beautiful. I can imagine the amount of hard work that's gone into them. $78.99 or $114.49. You reckon we've got time to squeeze another demo in on these?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so this is the one that we're going to do next. Again, very simple card, and it's again showing you ways you can add more to these. I want them to be dies that you can keep very simplistic if you want to. If you want to bring in more to them, you can. So I've just gone very quickly ahead, and I've already cut out my panel using the outside die that comes with it into some craft card, because I love working with craft card. Always makes me think of weddings, white and craft card. card. No idea why, but it does. And earlier I was showing you, and we'll probably revisit this later, but if we want to do stitched effects with these, I was mentioning how I haven't got the patience to do stitching, but I really like the effects of one of our design team, Christine, has actually made some cards that you've got over there, Joe, and she's stitched through them and she's added in little beads in between the stitches. And if you want to, you can do. You know, I know that's quite a trend at the moment, is to stitch your dies, and these will lend themselves perfectly for that. But I, as you can see, quite like to just do faux stitching with a gel pen or a fine pen and add in details. And this design again is one that's going to lend itself perfectly for that. Or if you've got a slightly larger nib, this is the next stage up, you can literally go in and infill the panels. And I don't need this to be too precise, I want it to be a bit shabby, so it's got that sort of shabby chic vintage feel to it. But you can just go in and infill the decorations. And again, this could be done with colour if you'd prefer. This can be done with your alcohol markers, your glitter pens, could be done with a quickie glue pen and add glitter on it. You've seen over there already a few of my samples where I've done this with a glue pen and added gilding flakes over the top. But very quickly you can just start to bring these baubles to life, or these elements to life if you want to, just with a little bit of a doodle. And if you don't want it solid like I'm doing here, then you could put patterns into there as well. I know you have Sandra come up and do a lot of santangling. Again, if you wanted to, you could be doing that into all of these areas.
Great over the top of that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, infill as you wish, but it's, to me, this is just a nice way to give the illusion of more cut-out areas, more decorations, and gives you the chance to bring in more colour if you want there to be.
White
and
gel
add them
pens
on.
always remind me, Jamie, of Tipex. I don't know why.
Do they?
Remember, as a kid, Tipex, you were never allowed to take. You weren't allowed. It was banned at school.
Oh, I had Tipex.
Did you? We weren't allowed Tipex.
At school we was allowed
Maybe
Tipex.
it says something about the areas we grow up in. I mean,
Yeah,
kids
I
weren't
don't
allowed
know.
Tipex around my way.
No, we had Tipex.
Yeah, we weren't allowed it. I remember it was so smelly.
Oh, I loved the smell of
Why
Tipex.
not just cross it out and write it, you know, right underneath? It was just such a.
We also
such a
had
funny
the Tipex rollers, like the glue
Tipex
runners.
pen,
I
it was
liked
like
them
a
as
tape
well.
pen, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were good too.
Yeah, no, we had like the
Yeah.
bottles of fluid, but we were never allowed them. And then it'd leak in your pencil case and everything would be ruined.
Okay. No, I don't remember it being banned. Several things were banned at our school, but that wasn't.
Yeah.
I remember.
Banned at ours.
So you don't want to watch me colouring loads of this, so I'm going to skip ahead and show you one I've already done. So again, just infill them areas as you wish to, and then we'll bring that on and we'll plant that onto our card, shall we? No, I did like my Tipex. That somebody whose spelling is absolutely atrocious. I think Tipex saved me on more than one occasion a day. So, oh yeah, is that right? Yeah, lovely. We're going to go on with our
I couldn't
craft
believe
card.
now secondary schools, they have like digital like boards. Like when I was at school, you know, people would write with a piece of chalk on a chalkboard or a pen on a whiteboard. Now the boards are digital apparently, like
Are they?
screens. They're like half board, half screen. You can kind of touch them
Really?
and like zoom in on things. And so it's like a massive, big interactive computer screen
iPad?
essentially. Like a massive iPad, the size of a chalkboard. Oh, I didn't know this was a thing. When did this become a thing?
No, when I was at school, computers were like all tucked away in a lab that you was allowed like 1 hour a week with and had to have a password.
Yeah.
And the computer was like the size of your house.
Absolutely, smart boards they're called apparently.
Okay. No, I don't have them.
Well, Charlotte said we had those when in what school, sorry, Charlotte? In primary school, Charlotte had, what I'd call primary school, Charlotte had those. Just goes on to show how
Really?
much younger than the rest of us Charlotte is. But Charlotte did grow up in Morpeth, and it's one of those, you know, very
this
posh
shows
area.
what my education was like. I've got no idea where that is,
Morpeth.
Joe.
She'll tell you, she's on the tourist board in Morpeth. She will give you some information about it.
And there you go. So very simple what we've been
Beautiful.
chatting about our schools, but just layered on the front here with some black and white, inside the same colours, and then just festive wishes from the sentiments part put on the outside. I will be honest, on my finished one I've got a bow, but that would take me about an hour to tie on air. So we're just going to pretend I've added a bow onto the finished one, that if you want to, of course, you could add that in as well.
Brilliant. Right then, should we do the vote for the card of the show, Jamie?
Yeah.
This was Leanne, so we'll go #1 for Leanne's Craft Along.
I only got to see a little bit of that, but she's a well-deserved winner, isn't she? What an incredible card.
Yeah, and she never wins either.
Oh, well, she should
So
win
no
this.
pressure. If you beat her today, she's going to be fuming.
She should
Jamie.
win this. Hands down win this.
And then, of course, we've got Jamie. So Jamie's will be 2, 3 and 4.
2, 3 and 4.
There we are.
But honestly, that card from Leanne is amazing.
2, 3 and 4. Brilliant. Right, let me share with you the pierced ones. Again, let's just take you through the different designs that you have got on here. So you've got your Christmas roses, which are these ones just here. This one is the bauble diamonds. You've got the Christmas cottage there. We've also got the snowflake mandala, and then you've got your embellishments within there as well. So make sure you grab a hold of all of those. Then we've also got the slimline collection for you as well. I love this. Remember, every single element that I'm sharing with you is available individually as well. So if you do want to build your own bundle, you can. This is the looped rectangles. I think you're going to get so much use out of that. Just gives you an added dimension to your mats and layers. This one here is the cut corner rectangle. You've also got the shadow box in here, as well as the starburst, the holly, which has been very, very popular so far. You've then got your 2 sets of embellishments in there, and you also then have your sentiments as well. So really, really comprehensive collection right there. And then we have the sentiments as well, which is going with the pierced collection. And you can actually mix and match lots of these sentiments, Jamie was telling us, on the different plats. So you've got Let It Snow, that one there is Merry Christmas. Then you also have more fingers and fun today. What's going on? That's Season's Greetings, Joyful Tidings, and also Festive Wishes. 40% gone here on these. Those are the kind of projects you'll be able to complete with them. Jamie is going to show us the glitter jewels and what are they called?
The glitter bits. The glitter bits.
Sounds
glitter
funny,
jewels.
doesn't it? Glitter bits.
Yeah.
Glitter
So
bits.
we're going to start off with the diamond sprinkles. So if we bring this one out, and maybe if I sprinkle a little bit down here, maybe you can see how that's actually going to look for you. This one is like the shards of tinsel is how I feel it looks. Again, very sparkly, very iridescent, so they're going to, you know, shine through your colour card underneath. Then we go on and we have got iced snow, which is the one that I feel is like slightly larger particles, but again, quite transparent. So you can add these onto your self-adhesive sheets and bits, and then mix in other colours underneath them if you would like to. Then to top this off, we have got, what was the third one? Iced crystal. And if we bring these out, to me, this one really is shards of snow. And I think you can see that down there really beautifully. Very textural, very 3D. So if you want to build up a proper little snowscape at the bottom of your scene, I think that one's going to work really well for you. And that completes your glitter jewels trio. Then we have your glitter bits. So let's pop that one over to one side and we will bring these in. So we have got your red. So again, if we bring a few of these out, hopefully you can see here, that might show you slightly better the different size particles that we've got going on in here. Then we've got your hunter green. How traditional Christmas is this? This is the perfect Christmas colour. Think of filling in them trees on that pierced die or going behind the holly on the panel die from Sue. And then we bring in the gold, and the gold is our golden sand. So again, we can sprinkle that one down too to show you how that one's going to look for you. So 3 different size particles in each one of the glitter bits are giving you that sparkle. And as you can see, mix them together, make your own combos if you would like to. That looks really good as well.
Yeah, really, really gorgeous, aren't they? We're just counting the last of our votes. Leann's got a new puppy. And she did you have it? Did you see it? Tiny little Jack Russell puppy.
Looked very cute.
So cute. Called Teddy. He's so cute. So what happens when puppies and babies, people turn into like different people? Do grab a hold of those. The glitter jewels there, as you can see, 12.15 or 17.62. You were right. She did beat you, Jamie.
So she should. That is only fair. That is such an incredible card.
She did beat you. So that is the winner. There's a puppy in the gallery. It's all.
That's it.
It's
Bedlam.
All bets are off. Yeah, nothing's happening. He's so cute. And he just sits there. He's like a little sort of pretend toy dog. So cute. He's coming back. 1 second. He's coming back.
Pretend toy dog.
I'm not sure if she is or not. So the winner, is number 1. Jamie, you're going to be back with us as well, aren't you?
I am.
7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. West Coast for one final hour. What have you got planned for that?
We're just going to give you more ideas of these free collections. We'll look again at more of the pierced ideas, more of the slimline ideas to hopefully give you some more inspiration with them.
Brilliant. Absolutely delightful. Jan will be here with me at 6, of course. Beautiful Beginnings. First time I've done Beautiful Beginnings. So she'll be here at 6. We'll have an hour. Then we'll have Creative Expressions and we'll have another hour of that. We've got some creator cards, some ribbon threading dies for you too. There's absolutely loads coming your way. And there is some hummingbird collection on that show as well. Right, we're going to run off and give some more fusses to Leann's new puppy. So I'll see you back here in an hour's time. Don't forget to check out your baskets. Bye.